Oh man, is this thing working? Hello everybody, welcome. Let's see. Alright, are we loaded in? We're good! Hey! Howdy! Welcome everybody, good to see ya. A little bit of a different, oh gosh, I left my door open. Different background, different setup, different stuff going on. Promise I'll explain. Jeez, I just hit my mic. Everything's different. Hold on. Alright, so, for those who don't know, me and my wife kind of have a weird situation where we go back and forth between Turkey and the US, and these last 2 weeks we've been making that move back to the US for the next month or so. During that time, everything broke. All of the my whole setup got messed up. Like I didn't even see, nothing is reset, everything is wrong. I actually didn't have a motherboard or a CPU for a few days, so I had to go out and grab those and just get all this set up, and overall it has been a pain. So that's why I haven't been streaming for the last couple of weeks. Everything was going wrong and I was just trying to get things back under control. But we're here now, and even now there's still things broken. Like, I can't hear the music, so you guys got to let me know if the music is too loud. I can't hear anything from my other computer right now because there's some problem with Windows. For some reason, my gaming PC just completely wiped itself, and I lost like Windows and all of my computer, all of my storage. So I've just been like putting things back together a lot over the last couple of weeks, and trying to get exclusive videos out and keep up with to date with that stuff. So there's gonna be no video this week, unfortunately. This is my first stream back. I promise it's gonna be a good month of streams. We've got a lot of good things planned. I've got some events, got a streamathon planned. I'm doing the 400i giveaway right now that you can get into. So, like, things are still rolling, but it's gonna take me a couple more days to get back up to full speed. I hope you guys don't mind. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure like my camera is too small on here. Do I look smaller than normal down here in the corner? Either way, welcome everybody. I'm super happy to see you all here. Honestly, it's kind of weird, stressful to stop streaming for 2 whole weeks. You know, you think you're gonna come back and stream and nobody's gonna be there. But I'm super grateful for y'all just still being here to hang out. Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to getting back into the game. I've actually got like a functioning HOTAS now, thanks to a supporter from a couple years ago. I'm gonna try and use that today. I've found my eye tracker. Believe it or not, my brother-in-law's mother-in-law just decided at some point that we didn't need it, and like took the eye tracker, one of my Xbox controllers, like a bunch of stuff, and just put it in a corner in a room in Turkey. And like when you're trying to transport PCs back and forth between 2 countries and something goes missing, you just assume it's your fault. So like for the last year, me and my wife thought that we just didn't have the eye tracker anymore, but I found it, so I'm gonna try and get that working today too. So like I feel like I'm back to a comfortable setup and I can play the game realistically. And to start out, I wanted to jump into the Drake Cutter with you guys because I haven't gotten to see it yet. This is my first time seeing it in game. I've kind of kept away from reviews just because I wanted to have like a fresh look at it. So I'm excited for that. Thanks, Lord Skippy, by the way, for getting in there with that $5 super chat. Back in the children's room. Glad you managed your setup running. Yeah, back in my sister's childhood bedroom. It's the reality of the situation, but we'll be getting our own place hopefully sometime in the next year over here. Anyways, Malagor, welcome. 07s, I saw you in here early. Welcome. No Clue, Francesco, Punji with the toes. You know how comforting it is to know that there are still toes here when I get back. Pompano, good afternoon. Welcome. It's weird now when you guys are used to me being in the evening. I mean, even now, I think we're like 2 hours or so, like 3 hours later than the stream normally is over in Turkey. Now with this time change, I'm in the morning, you guys are in the evening, you're having dinner, I'm having dessert. It's weird. And it's weird. I don't like time. Time's weird. Lily, hey, good to see you. Hope you've been having a good couple weeks. Good morning, Eluda. What does that name say? It's blue on blue. Chopper, howdy, how you doing? Hands-free Voodoo Child, yeah. I mean, let's hope so. I haven't actually checked to see if it's working. If the head tracking is working with Toby or anything like that, but we'll find out. We'll get in the ship and find out. Such a great looking starter ship. I don't know about the looks. I've from what I've seen, this thing is kind of it really screams what is that game called? Outlaw Galaxy something. It has that like really rustic sort of like deadbeat look to it that I'd expect in Serenity or Firefly or something like that. It's got like such a generic, crappy spaceship look, but in the best possible way. Like it's very unique in that style, and I think it fits into the lineup really well. It's nice and squat. Gotta love that short and stout ship. Look at that. There's like no clearance down here. And overall, it's I like the vibe. From what I can see here, it just looks like a cargo bay with a little habitation pod and a cockpit up front. Kind of reminds me of the, let's see, what other ships are like that? Like the Nomad, kind of. No prime sub until the 14th. Ah, my friend. I'll tell you what. Actually, never mind. It's a prime sub. You do you. Shad Dad, I appreciate you just being here. You got all that done. You rock, Toe. I mean, barely got it all done. It's not done. Like, my setup is this. I just got this working from getting started on trying to get this whole stream going, because I did do a stream on Wednesday. For those of you who were here, probably noticed I was only on one PC because I was doing the podcast. I just got this whole computer built out, got the stream set up, got the Go XLR working, all this stuff ready, and it just came together like 5 minutes before the stream. So there's still plenty of stuff I need to do to make sure we're good for the next month, but you know, it's passable. It's working. My video feed was like cutting out every 5 minutes earlier, so I don't know if you guys are gonna get the game the whole time, but hopefully I'm gonna see what we can do. Yeah, Rebel Galaxy, that's what I was talking about. Welcome to the best time zone. No call to prayer interruptions. That's right. No call to prayers for the next month is pretty nice. I gotta say though, I've always enjoyed being in Pacific West Coast, because you're kind of like, you get to experience what everybody else did. You know, the news gets going, new announcements are made, all this stuff happens, and then you wake up and it's fresh to you. It's nice. But at the same time, I'm always behind now. Like something happens in Star Citizen, and I'll wake up and I'll check it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I'll go on to like Twitter to see what's going on, and everybody's already talked about it. I'm so used to in Turkey being the like getting to see those things come out and then get to talk to everybody about it. So it's weird, it's a change, but it's cool. I like it over here. Speaking of which, what was I gonna reference? It'll come back to me. It's something about, oh, I've got a socks announcement. I'll make that later. Little merch stuff. Cutter was supposed to be a new kind of game starter package I seem to have read, which isn't bad. Yeah, it fits in there. From what I've heard, it's like $60 with the game. So this ship is the full price of a normal AAA game. Well, a non-Sony AAA game, I guess. $60 for this ship plus the game. I mean, it depends on how much value you put on the alpha that is Star Citizen, and if you're gonna play it for years, I imagine $60 is not a bad price. You know, it's a decent buy-in if you're willing to put up with the alpha metrics. And just walking into this ship, I mean, it feels. Let's see. So that's the cargo grid right there. Yeah, the cargo area. So you've got a really small area for cargo in here. I think it's only 4 boxes for SCU storage, which is okay. In line with starter ships, but it is a little more expensive than your other starters. So like your Aurora, your Mustang are both coming in at I think 40 or 45. I think the Pisces is about this price, $60 with the game. And honestly, I might take this over a Pisces. We're gonna find out today. We're gonna do some driving around, flying around, get some stuff going on. Yo, D West, thank you so much for the sub. Dew Storm and Lilybun, thank you all for the sub. In fact, folks, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know how the alerts are going over here, but like I said, I can't hear the music. I can't hear anything from the other PC, so I might miss the alerts briefly, but I'm going to keep an eye out for them. Thank you so much for the subs. I really appreciate the support, especially getting back to it. It helps. But those subs will get the raffle started. Those raffles will give you points. Those points can be used to enter our giveaways for ships. I'm not currently running one. We'll probably be starting one on Monday. And giving away starter packages, copies of the game, likely with an Aurora. Maybe we'll do one with the Cutter. But I'm going to start to give away more ships on the stream here. So if you're getting those points for the subs, or you're getting into those raffles started by the subs, that's a good deal. Keep doing that. It was said that the Cutter starter was only Warbond. Are they not going to keep it as a starter ship? Like a game package? That'd be strange. If the Cutlass is the Cutty, then the Cutter is the Cutie. It is kind of a cutie. It's an ugly little cutie here. So, we got switches on this ship, and this is something I've loved that they've been doing, I want to say since the MSR, where they actually have physical switches, and it's nice that they put them on both sides here. That is very solid. I imagine this interaction system is going to be changed with the one we saw at CitizenCon. But, you see, you tap it, open it up. It's got some nice noises. Let me actually stop the music for you all, so you can hear what I'm hearing. It's got some nice noises. I like the noises. It's got nice ambiance to it. Gonna do any low flying with it? I'm definitely gonna run some missions, and when I'm running missions on atmosphere, I usually end up running into the ground, so does that count as low flying? Does flying literally into the ground count as dangerous low flying? Because do a little bit of that. Alright, you got this button here. Kind of weird that it doesn't actually light up. The light lights up. They really want me to turn on the light. And where is the light? There it is. Cool. So, some solid lighting in here. Pretty standard. Drake wears nice and orange and warm lighting. But why can't I close it? It's got a really, like, bad target for the close button here. Come on. Oh. There we go. You got to press the really, really small one. You hope they don't start updating. They start passing older ships soon. I want my Connie to get some loves. The Connie needs some love. That's for sure. I go both ways on that. Because, like, on one hand, I really want them to update the old ships. The Caterpillar, the Connie, the Aurora. Even something like the MSR, to an extent, needs some updates. But at the same time, the longer that it takes for them to update them, the better they are. So I don't know. I don't know. Alright, mate. What's alright, Carrot? Good to see you in here, by the way. Welcome. How have you been, dude? Got some storage back here. Is this a... What are these? This is just nothing? Is this a waste of space on the wall here, or... I wonder if this is supposed to be something. It feels like this could have been a weapon rack. But maybe it's some other kind of utility piece. Freelancers need some love. Freelancers are going to be interesting. Like, you got this entrance in the Freelancer to a cargo space that can't fit one SU boxes through it. So I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do with that, how they're going to allow us to get boxes through there. Alright, so cargo area, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Some exposed piping, some nets, which I can hopefully store Pico plushies in at some point. And components, component access. Don't want anybody boarding your ship with the components back here, jeez. Love the Connie to death, but want it updating, but also want them to wait so it's the best it can be. Yeah. I think we're getting to a really good point. Like, after they introduce resource management, you know, there's no knowing what they could introduce after that. I think there are a few important things that definitely need to come in for each ship in the near future. We got shield emitters, which are on the progress tracker, which have seen the work that they said they had written down is completed. We don't know what it is yet, so probably won't get an update on that until we're leading up to 319 next year at the earliest. Resource management is going to be pretty good. Physicalized damage is pretty important. and ship CPU, like ship blades. I think those are like, I'm probably missing something else, but I think those are 4 of the things that once they have those locked in, if they update a ship, hopefully it won't need anything too major of an update after that. Resource management being the big one, because they're going to have to get relays in there, going to have to make sure that components make sense. That's like the internal layout of the ship, and I think a lot of these newer ships they've already done that work for, with these components and stuff. We've seen it with the Hull A, with the Corsair, and with some of the other ships that came out this year. But I think that's kind of the sweet spot when I want to start seeing those older ships more updated quickly. Drake Cutter is $40 war bond by itself, right? Yeah, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't encourage people to buy this ship on its own. I mean, it's a good ship for what it is, for the price, for sure. It's a great ship, but like, get it in game. It's gonna be pretty cheap. Got a bathroom here. Nice. I'm pretty sure. Wait, does this have a toilet? Is this a shoilet setup? How do I open a? Can I open the toilet here? Oh, nope. That's for the door, of course. Why would there be an open button for the toilet? And there, my display is gone. Didn't go for you guys, so that must mean it's a computer thing. Access? Ah, there's a toilet. Hey, this thing is more well-equipped than the Cutlass. That's what you get when you get newer ships. You get built-in toilets. Don't buy old ships. Standing toilet only. Oh my god. It's just a hole in the floor. I saw a post on Reddit earlier today, and it was like, oh, look at this seaside toilet, or seaside bathroom, and it was like 2 holes in the bottom of a cement, like, outhouse on the coast, and there's just water shooting up through the hole because of the tide. I'm like, yeah, Drake could just do that. Let's just get some of those in their ships. No hydraulics needed, just float it on out. Floaty poopies. It does have way more hull HP and can take a beating. Really? I wonder if that'll be changed when armor starts to become a thing. What is this? Whoa. Oh, is this... Huh. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. That's like the Starlifter. Ooh, what do you guys think of this? This kind of a... It's like a physical access to the non-physical inventory in the ship. This must be something that's going to change once lockers come into the game, but I'm really curious how they're going to make that changeover. Like, if I'm owning a cutter and I'm used to coming in here and dropping, you know, 5 pairs of armor and 6 weapons into this inventory space, how's it going to change when eventually this becomes a physicalized space and it can only fit 1 pair of armor and a weapon or something? Interesting. You melted your 135C in a hover quad to CCU your Nomad back to a Taurus. So your pledge fleet is just an LTI Titan and a Taurus. Woo! That's a nice little, like, small starting fleet, though. This is, what could this be? Maybe this will be space for relays or something? There's a lot of space in here that looks like it was designed for stuff, but isn't being used yet. Drop extra armors in the cargo hold, yeah, of course. So you'd have other places to put that inventory, but just like the flow of doing it, people are going to get really used to this. This is like a super traditional way of doing inventory, right? You press a button, the door cracks open, and then suddenly you have access to the inventory. It's like very traditional. People might start flying these ships and be like, okay, I get this. I know how this works. This is how games work. And then those inventory changes come along, and it's like... The Cutlass and a few other ships have those now. Does the Cutlass have it too? Weapon rack up here, that's pretty good. See, this is what the CPU stuff looks like. This is where I think they'd be doing blade stuff. And then you got your door controls. Open, close, and lock. I do... These doors are so slow. And these little windows back here are nice. So this is like a good sized ship. This thing's got a bigger interior than something like a Herald. How much is a Herald? How much does a Drake Herald cost? You're not watching Twitch stream then? I am. I might have missed your message on Twitch. I am struggling to keep up with chat right now. I think that's a separate inventory to the ship inventory. If you note, it says external at the top. You might be right. That would be weird. Oh, my head tracking's working. Holy crap, when did that start? Oh, it's when I sit down. Okay. It does have the vehicle inventory here. Yeah, I don't know what the plan is with that. You have a 315P and changed your Aurora for a cutter. Had the Aurora in 315 since 2013. Won't buy any more ships. Want to start the game in hard mode. I feel that. I've got a separate account than this one because this one's got too many ships on it at this point. Hey, Jaybird. How you doing? And John, good to see you, dude. Sorry I missed you on Twitch. Okay, I'm going to need to set a key binding for this face tracking stuff so my guy's not flipping out. Enable head tracking toggle. I'm going to set that to that. And there we go. Cool. All right, let's turn it on. How's it sound? What was that? Yo, that was a little punchy. Did you hear that? I like that noise. I don't know if that was mechanical or if that was the engine. Yeah, we need more like this. We need more sounds, like hefty noises. To be honest, that's like... I'm not an expert, but I feel like that's like the same sort of gruffness of like hefty sound that you would get from starting up a Caterpillar. They've got some updates to do on the ship noises. A little pungy, yep. Yeah, John's here. It's been a cool minute since we've seen John in the garden. How you doing, dude? Well, since I've seen him, I've been out of the way for a couple of weeks. But dude, good to see you. Sound like you might have a lug nut loose. Oh, look at these switches, though. Canopy armor. Got this over here. This is an interesting touch. Makes me wonder if they plan on doing this for like all ships, or if they're just trying to fit in some little things here and there. I don't know. But that's good fun. A lot of physical toggles here, though. It's got that feeling of, of Drake. Hits that same vibe of the ships from Starfield, though. That sort of NASA punk. We're in the future, but we're still flippity floppity with our toggles. Let's get out of here. And I don't have any of my key bindings anymore because this is a fresh install. I've lost... This is gonna be frustrating. Does my HOTAS work? This thing is not set up yet. No, it's definitely not working. I'm gonna have to keybind. Yo, Dew Storm, thank you for gifting out a sub and deposit. You as well, I appreciate it, guys. Y'all are really killing it with the support today. Thank you so much. Not bad, you've been moving around again? Yeah. Yes, I have. We're back in the US for the next month or so. And we'll be out again in January, headed back to Turkey. So it's been... Yeah, it's hefty. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. But once we get back to Turkey, we'll be in the same place for like 8 months, and I plan on just getting into it. I'm going to be streaming a lot more. I'm going to be putting out more videos, podcast stuff. We got a little game show planned. Like, we've got stuff planned for 2023. I'm super excited for it all. So, once we settle back in for the year, it's going to be good. How do thrusters look on this thing? I always wonder, because you know that they're going to start to change the VFX to make these thrust vectors look a little more big and like they're actually doing something. These maneuvering thrusters are powerful, though. Look at that. 4 of them. Just 4 of them on the bottom. I would think there were 6. But I guess with VTOL thrusters, they expect you to kind of factor that in yourself. Very similar thrusters to the other ships. The that secondary thruster there, the small one, secondary forward-facing thruster, or rear-facing thruster, looks a lot like that one on a Corsair. And the main thruster, kind of has some Vulture vibes. All right. Oh, this thing turns.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah, I live in Turkey. You're from Turkey. Merhaba. My wife's from there. Game show? Oh? First mention of that, huh? You like the touchscreen, but the toggle doesn't crash or freeze. That is true. Although, what do you do when you toggle something and it doesn't do anything? That's a... Oh, can't hack that. Toter Kenny gifting out a community sub. You guys were just waiting, weren't you? Toter, thank you so much for being here, friend. Toter Kenny is like an OG, been here years now, almost as long as I've been streaming. Appreciate you, buddy. All right. Wow, this thing can. I don't know. This thing's got some moves on it. Who dat? Ah, it's the Navy. Think they could take me in a cutter? Hey, Navy boys. You ever gotten yourself a licking from some Drake Fine weaponry? Hammerhead can't do nothing. You would think that they would like hail you if you were flying this close to a giant Navy. What is the Hammerhead? Like a what is a Hammerhead considered? It's not a Corvette, right? It's too small? I don't know, but you would think something like a Hammerhead would be like, hey, can we call this little maggot flying around in a cutter outside of us? It might plant a bomb or something. Is it a Corvette? All right, let's head down to atmosphere and see how it flies down there. We're gonna go grab some weaponry, some equipment, some good stuff, tractor beam probably, and then we will head back out and do some missions in this thing. See how it runs. See what it does. If toggle doesn't work, time for some percussive maintenance. Is that what I used to do to my Xbox controllers when I played FIFA as a 15-year-old? Because, oh my gosh. I have messed up a couple controllers in my FIFA days. Because, just like you said, I felt like those toggles just weren't working. I said to pass the ball, dang it. Oh, that's annoying. Stream Elements just tells you there's no giveaway running. Don't ignore that first thing that Stream Elements says. There is a giveaway running. It's for the 400i. And if you use that command, or on YouTube, if you look down below in the video description, there is a link, spacetomatogaming.com/giveaways, and that will give you access to whatever we're running at the time. Which right now is a 400i, because, you know, Drake bad, Origin good. But actually, we're giving away a 400i for my birthday. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. On that same day, or a day nearby there, I'll probably be doing like a good 8-hour stream. Hopefully 318 will be in PTU, but if not, we'll be sitting here chilling 8 hours. We'll just run through a bunch of stuff. We'll do some review of the game, maybe do a look back at how the year's gone. Check out new ships, the Corsair. But I'm hoping 318 will be in PTU. We could just look at the salvage and stuff. Either way, that's when the 400i giveaway will be ending, and likely when the Corsair giveaway will be starting, due for January reveal. So I just keep losing visuals. Like my display keeps going black. Why can't I? There we go. I couldn't picture yaw. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my display. Why would it be dropping? Anybody have any theories for why the screen would keep going black? It's not on your guys' end, so it's just my monitor. M. Gutierrez, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you can't flip-flop your toggles, then how can you trust them? No flippity-floppities mean no trusty-boppities, you know? Can't depend on something that doesn't flip-flop. Flip-flops. Like, one of CIG's favorite things to do. They're building the game, though. It happens. Nerds Half-Life, thank you so much for gifting out that community sub. And another quick caveat. I did say that I couldn't get any videos out this week, but I did release a video for supporters. So, if you are becoming a Twitch sub today, for whatever reason, if somebody's gifting it to you or you decided you really wanted to support the Tomat, thank you so much. You also get access to the exclusive videos. A new one just came out this week. It's a good it's a long 20-minute summary of the last 4 years of Star Citizen development, whether it's actually accelerating, are they like building upon what they're building, or are they just kind of going every year and doing the same thing? And this has it's got graphs, it's got charts, it's got numbers, I did math things, there's even percentage points. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you want to learn more about Star Citizen's development and how it's actually going, check that out if you're a sub. It's on the Discord. Thanks for helping me out in Discord. Hope you have a good day. No problem, nerds. Thanks for hopping into Discord. I hope you are having a good day. I know you're not interested in new ships, which I get and can agree with, but man, I am excited for the Polaris. Okay, I can't pitch again. What is going on with this computer? Oh, my HOTAS is this working? No, the throttle's not working. It just randomly started making my HOTAS, my stick work. That's so weird. So is that why my mouse isn't? No, my mouse works now. My monitor keeps dropping out. I wish I could show you guys what this looks like. It's very annoying. It's like every 10 seconds it just goes black for 3 seconds. Let's land so I don't crash. I accidentally clicked on the bonus for Patreon members option on the giveaway page, and it gave me a bonus entry even though I'm not using Patreon. Oh. Patreon over here. Doing a little... Wow. Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you. I'll have to see why that happens. Either way, Patreon members do get all of the secret codes towards the giveaway. So they'll always get a little bonus. Might have some loose connections. Yeah, this hasn't happened, though, before this morning. What did I change this morning? I plugged in the eye tracker. That's the only thing that I did this morning. So I'm wondering if that's... Oh, God, don't crash. Don't crash. Stop going forward. No. Why didn't it slow down? Oh, jeez. And now VTOL is screwing us up. Okay. Oh, that's probably why, because I switched into VTOL too early. That, my friends, is why you don't fly with tomato. Luckily, we're right outside, so... See, now my ship's not flying right, because I lost a main thruster. So it's just constantly turning left. Good news, good news, good job. Well done. Keep it up, buddy. Hey, now we get to see how the damage works on the ship. I'm just testing the ship out. I'm not a bad pilot. I'm just seeing how it goes when you run into stuff, you know? Graphs, charts, and numbers? Yeah, Orange Joe, I was back in middle school with this video. Let me tell you. I even cited my sources. MLA format. Ooh. Did a good job. Didn't do it in cursive, though. they couldn't make that one stick. Got a gremlin in the computer. You know what? Honestly, that might be the case. Anybody who was there for the live podcast this week had a good chat with Detox. That'll be out on the YouTube channel on Monday. Good talk, too, about like events and community stuff going on. But we had like a big audio outage during that too. I'm pretty sure there's just something living in my computer messing things up. Fu Ken, bro Ken. Is Ken in here? Where's Kenya boy? I see Sam I am. As long as those torps are working when the Polaris comes out, it'll provide a lot of cool gameplay, like Carrick, but more boom. Honestly, by the time the Polaris comes out, I expect to fully be hacking and boarding ships and having firefights on those capital ships, right? If something like the Polaris is out, I would hope that they would have put more time into understanding capital and intership gameplay, and I think they do. I think that's something that's going on behind the scenes right now. We know that boarding has already been worked out, and hacking is being worked on in the meantime. Those two things combine to be very important in that aspect. And then you've got like resource management with gravity controls and life support and all that stuff. Like, these are all things that are going to add to the boarding gameplay. But I'd like to see it be like a thing that we can expect to be doing by the time the Polaris is out, you know? It's Drake, it'll keep flying. Nah, just throw a water gun on the outside. It'll change some of that momentum. You watched a vid on how to fly ships after losing your main engine. Looked very useful. That's pretty cool too. That you can kind of customize your ship in a way that you can fly if you're missing a thruster. Kind of thing that'll probably have to be... You'll probably have to do that with the real game. Someday in the future. You always be a bad pilot. Hey! Mouse and keyboard, baby. Don't depend on me if I'm on mouse and keyboard, because if anything, my body has proven that the muscle memory yearns for a controller. Or a HOTAS. Maybe I'm better with HOTAS, but mouse and keyboard, I can't. My brain can't fathom this many buttons in such random patterns. Keyboards are made for typing, all right? Not for controlling spaceships. Where's that train? As long as you're Aurora and Nomad. Oh, you know what? I never even got to see IAE. It's already over there, huh? I did not have access to the game for the entirety of the expo. As long as your Nomad and Aurora gets their cargo boxes, tractor beams, etc. The Nomad is going to be such a powerhouse once it gets its utility mount, and you can put a tractor beam on the back of the Nomad. Holy crap. Imagine how quickly you could just land, load, and fly away. That's gonna be amazing. Looks like I missed a couple of subs there. Zerb, 19 months. Wow. You and Toad are both. You've been here a long time, Zerb. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. I hope you've been enjoying it, and I hope the stream has gotten better over time. And Flint Spears, thank you for your first month sub. I see you coming in here. Yo, thanks for the support, my friend. Missing thrusters adversely affect flying in Star Citizen, which is hectic, but still a cool little ship. It's very cool. Oh my gosh. And we're just scratching the surface. I mean, the heat system, overheating thrusters, misfiring thrusters, like these are things that are literally already in the game. They just haven't tuned them yet. You can have a misfiring thruster. You can go into your MFD, and in the, I think it's the power settings, you can actually see if your thrusters have taken damage, and once they fall below a certain threshold of damage, they start misfiring, and they can cause problems. And like, they haven't really tuned this in yet, but once we have that, the heat system, control surfaces, like all this stuff, flight is gonna be so crazy with this game. I missed yours too, John? Holy crap, I'm sorry. I need to move the joystick here. You know what, I'll just take it off the table for now, since I'm not using it, because it's just blocking. There we go, it's just blocking notifications. There we go. John, thank you though. 17 months. I swear to God, John is... You know, you are an anecdote. I tell people about you all the time, because they just don't believe me. Like, they're like nobody over the age of 30 cares about this game. Like my man John holds down the mining. Literally the father of GII. Grandfather of GII. The Herald. Thank you for being here, dude, and thanks for the sub. But seriously, John is a classic, a staple of the community. I'm always happy to see you, dude. We got to get out mining again soon. I haven't been mining since they did, what do they call them? Since they did the mining gadgets. It's been months, man. I'd love to get a little group mining session together. You feel older peoples are the ones that care. We grew up with Freelancer and X-Wing. That's what you, yeah. And that's what you tell people. You can hear me, but my video froze? Is it still frozen? Did it only briefly freeze? That's what I tell people though. Like, y'all think that video games are for young people, but like, the people who were young when video games started are not young anymore. They're old, and they still like them. It's like saying the only people who play Pokemon are kids. Nah. It was the kids that brought it into popularity, but those kids got kids now. And like, there's no reason not to play. I mean, obviously we have less time as we get older. That's for sure. But games are for thinking. Games aren't just for entertainment. Like, games are literally art. It's like an interactive movie. Why would you sign that off just because you get older? Get ourselves a little medical tool. Look at this. Look at these ages. Ain't nobody needs to talk about no 30-year-old max age. They're just trying to make me feel old. But we got plenty of people in here. 40, 48, 52, 47, 72, 54, 35. Like, that's a cool part about this game too. Everybody is kind of at different stages of their life, so you get to hear a lot of different kind of opinions on it. 36. On YouTube, I think it tells me that the average age of people who watch my videos is like mid-30s, late 30s. It ranges from 15 all the way up into the 80s, but like, it's a higher average than you would imagine. Oh, Lord Skippy. 10 months as a supporter, 10 months since you uninstalled Twitch. You just don't use Twitch anymore. And Creelis, thank you for the sub with your Amazon Prime. I appreciate you. And No Clue with the one month, 1 tier sub. Thank you guys. Enjoy the oh, is that the music? Music's kind of loud, sorry. Enjoy the exclusive videos, and also obviously you get a couple extra points to the 400 I giveaway. All right, we're gonna head to the commons. We're gonna grab ourselves armor and weapons, and maybe an ice cream or something. I don't know, you guys like ice cream? Hello from Portugal. Hello to Portugal, love that place. Porto, it's like my wife's favorite city. You're 30 and really believe the higher average age of the community makes it so much better. It does, and it's getting lower. You can tell that we're getting both younger crowds and also people who kind of have a different idea of what the game should be. Conversations I've never really thought were going to be a conversation a couple of years ago. Let me tilt this down a little bit. There are conversations surrounding this game that I'm starting to hear that I'm really surprised to hear. Things like we shouldn't have bed logging. That's I didn't expect that to be a thing, but I guess as the game gets more casual players, those things start to weigh in. Things like not wanting to be like an engineer and do resource management stuff. A lot of people are saying like the game is getting too complex, and I'm like, oh, things are changing. You're from the Toys R Us gen. You don't want to grow up. Wait, how did I end up here? Ha! Dang it, train. This is why that announcing lady needs to be louder. Come on, Anna. The commons. Hey, you guys going to the commons? Look like you could use some armor. Just got done with work. Is your commute home? Am I annoying you? He just looks away. Another one of these. Off-worlders. Porto, yes, nice food and wine, my friend. Yeah, it's also super touristy. Obviously, I'm going to mention Porto, but it's beautiful. We got to go see a winery out there, see the river, like see the countryside. Absolutely gorgeous. Us old folks are investing into a game for our grandkids at this point. Yo, the further along we go, like, the more that becomes a reality. But at the same time, it's going to be kind of cool that I'll probably play this game with my kids. Cause I guess it's kind of a statement to how long this game has taken, but before Star Citizen, I never considered playing games with kids because when I backed Star Citizen, I was how old was I? Must have been like 20, 21. I wasn't really thinking about kids. And even then, I was thinking, okay, I'll be playing this game for like the next 10 years. Cool, then it'll be gone. But it's kind of crazy to think that I will probably be playing this game with my kid when they're like 10 years old. And I'll be able to enjoy it up until then. As opposed to like putting myself in my dad's shoes. He never got to play a game that he knew with me. He always played games that came out after I was born. Do you guys know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird the way I'm saying it. But the longevity of this game, because we get to play it in alpha, is kind of cool. It's disappointing. It's a bummer. It's not fun waiting this long for a game. But it's also kind of a cool reality, I guess. And I think that's probably going to happen more and more. Like, games are going to become longer and longer lasting because they'll be better and better, and technology increases at lower rates or whatever. Don't get me wrong, I want this game to be a long-term game. I want it to be good. No, I don't. I'm not going to hear that and think that you're like a hater or anything. It's taking a long dang time. Okay, let's get some armor real quick. I'm just going to go with Errol. Maybe I should do something more combat oriented. Because are we going to run any combat missions today? Yeah, I think we'll end up going to find some derelicts with some missing loot. There could be NPCs there, but we'll stick with we'll just do the heavy armor. Why not? We're not missing out on anything. We just look a little blobby. You take comfort in that Beyond Good and Evil has been in development for an even longer time. Not much of a not a great game to compare to. It is definitely a lesser known, very, very delayed game though. Complexity adds to server tick counts. What are you going to want to spend server ticks on as they become more and more scarce in the game? The economy, the simulation. I'm fine with like if combat needs to be slowed down, if we need to kind of strangle some things. If the simulation can keep up with us though, and the AI, I feel like that's pretty important. They genuinely are a scam though. Who is that? I don't know which game you talk about. You don't think this game is going to ever be as complex as people think? No. I think they have a goal, and they're aiming for that goal, but they will fall short. It's kind of inevitable. Like, they've proven that it takes a lot of money to do these things, and to keep doing them consistently for a long time is going to be really hard to sustain. I don't think it'll be as crazy complex as they've sold or as people think, but I do think this is going to be a new level for games for sure. I think Star Citizen is part of a new age of games that are going to be a lot more dynamic and interesting, in that you don't join the game for just one thing. You don't get into the game because you like to fly spaceships. You don't get in the game because you like FPS. You get in the game because you like to do all of those things in different scenarios. And we'll probably see stuff like that when it comes to fantasy games, when it comes to racing games, when it comes to FPS games. I think Star Citizen, we just get to see it happening right here in front of us. I'm actually kind of impressed by some of the stuff they've been talking about with Starfield. You do think Star Citizen will be the best one in its category for a long time? I think they've got a good... they've got themselves a good foundation to build on. That, you know, other people will replicate, but it's going to take a little while. I'm also just talking out of my butt, though. So I could be completely wrong. Boop. Get a little scope on there. Make sure we have some ammo, because I always forget ammo. C-54 is a good gun to carry around, though. Almost never run out of ammo if you're raiding bunkers. Got our backpack, got our med tool, got our med pens. We got our things. We did our stuff. All right. So we're geared up. I'm actually going to grab one extra weapon and maybe some more ammo. I'm in the States right now, Isif. Your first space sim was called Jupiter Landing. Don't know that one. And I am falling behind in chat. Plus, with how common live service games are, look at games like CSGO and Rainbow Six that keep getting updated. Yeah, the biggest teller is the fact that World of Warcraft is still going strong after 20 years. So, like, if you could start something in 2003 and it's still going that strong in 2020 something, like, imagine what we could do with the games we're making in 2020s with the idea in mind that a game can last that long. Back in the 2000s, I don't think people were really thinking games would last that long. But now, it's like, yeah, we're going to build the game to last that long. And that's different. That's new. Maybe it's not new. Maybe I'm dumb. But I haven't really heard of games being planned out like that. Honestly, actually don't know if I think I grabbed an S38, so let's grab some more ammo for that. But I don't think I really need anything for the C-54.
Feel free to take a look around. We got a pretty good selection.
Maybe because the player base is in such a good place. Yeah, it helps to have a good community. When do I think 3.18 is going live? I still don't know. I can't make that. I haven't really been following the Evocati patches that much. We'll see if it goes to first wave PTU in the next couple of weeks. It might be live this year. But I'm still kind of thinking open PTU is a better bet. Just leave it to open PTU, let people play on the live servers if they want a more stable game, and then head out for holidays. Do you, CIG? ST Death Ride, thank you so much for that Prime sub. Amazon Prime coming in clutch. FS9 is better. Oh, love the FS9. Not as easy to find, though. Your first game was called Mercenary on the Commodore 64. Gosh, my first space game would have been like Jedi Starfighter, maybe, on GameCube or something like that. Don't plan on looting much with without a 2 SCU box. Something's up with the Cutter's SCU. Good to know. Okay. Interesting. Well, that might hurt us in testing the loot capabilities. Dang it. They on 4C. What's 4C? Callisto Protocol came out yesterday, full of bugs, desktop crashes, and graphical stutters, and it's a remake of Dead Space. Oh, a spiritual successor to Dead Space. The remake of Dead Space is still in development, I believe. But I'm sad to see that Callisto Protocol didn't quite live up to, I think, and I'm not going to say the hype, but what we were all hoping it would be. Dead Space is a really beloved franchise. The genre is really very effective genre. And Dead Space was just kind of, you know, it felt good. It felt good to see somebody come and be like, hey, screw you, EA. We're going to keep this going, even though you killed it. But, yeah, it sounds like it's not all good. Not all good times over there in horror multi-appendage rip-up bodies of aliens world. Not my kind of game, but I do enjoy those. I like watching them. Atari was your first time gaming. Didn't Atari make a console recently? They're easy to find. Well, John, I'm not quite the looter you are, my friend. You're gonna have to show me how to find more FS9s. Your first flight sim was Afterburner on the Sega Master System. I don't even know what the Sega Master System was. No. Not the Fortnite universe. Callisto Protocol was supposed to be in the PUBG universe, I believe. Although I don't know if they stuck with that. Alien Isolation is a very good game. What do I think about cleaning all reputation in 318? I think it's not surprising. Makes sense to me. I was kind of expecting it to be a full wipe, so confirmation didn't change much for me. I don't really grind out reputation, to be honest. Let's take a look at my reputation. Oh, look at that. I have literally none with anyone. This is how much I get to play the game. I don't, like I said, my computer has never really been in a great place to play this game. It's running better now that I'm back in the US. But I'm looking to update early in the new year, so I plan on playing a lot more after 318 comes out, and I do... You can expect me to be more up-to-date with those kinds of game systems, but for now I'm either producing a video or I'm streaming, and unfortunately the game doesn't really go that well for streams for me right now. Although, you're all here chilling. Thank you for coming and checking out the little hands-on cutter review. Bunker missions are the way. Yeah, see, that's part of my problem. I get into a bunker and I'm playing at 10 frames per second. Thoughts on Squadron 42 being released ASAP and coming back as a remaster with tech built from the PU? Oh no. Holy crap, that would be so... In my opinion, that would be not good. Whatever CIG puts out in the next 3 years, whether it's Squadron 42 or Star Citizen, or God bless our souls if it's Theaters of War, whatever they put out is going to be so heavily judged by the gaming industry that they can't mess up. They cannot put something out that's halfway. I think that's probably, I used to think at least that's part of the reason why they didn't do what's it called? Theaters of War. Whatever they put out is going to be the representation of their hard work. And like, if you're following the development, you can see how that hard work has bared fruits. Obviously, as you just saw with that AI glitching over there. It has borne many fruits. But they're not, it's like what they've made is still not in a place that I think should be judged as a full game. And so if they put Squadron 42 out in any way whatsoever, even as like an early release stage kind of thing, it's gonna be judged to the moon and back, and they need to make sure it's as polished and as good a representation of what they can do as possible, because that's also what's gonna lead expectations on Star Citizen. Pong was your first game? Yours was Mario on NES? Yo, I played a lot of Mario on the 64. Callisto Protocol is no longer in the PUBG universe. They scrapped it halfway through development. Probably explains why the story isn't as good. I don't know if they were going to change the story so much. I think they were just trying to kind of build out their lore. At least I hope they weren't. That would have been really weird. What's up, Alex? How's it going? I'm guessing there are like 3 or 4 different people in chat who might be named Alex. Just like, wait, what? Me? Welcome to the chat, buddy. Combat support is where it's at. 100k with a Corsair and 85Bs. Nasty. 100k with a Corsair? What do you mean 100k? You got plenty. You'll drop a few off for me next time we're on together. I'm trying to get like a set of quartermasters or like of our garage for the garden where we can store all these ships and weapons and vehicles that people might need. The industry is going to crap on anything they do regardless of if it was released perfect. The industry could crap on it, but there's always, you can always recognize when a game is good. People can give game a bunch of crap, but it's still recognizable if it's a quality game, and the people who are willing to give it the praise it deserves for being a quality game will. But they have to make the game quality first. It won't be able to kill SC, it's just a revenue stream. Yeah, but if Squadron's bad, that's not going to be good for Star Citizen. Because it's going to be an important revenue stream. I think they're kind of counting on Squadron to help them with their big expansions over the next couple of years. The cutter is really good at pad ramming. What do you think? I hate pad ramming. Do you see CIG offering beta access to Squadron 42 Chapter 1? I don't. Their internal beta? Sure. You think they should release Chapter 1 through 3 about a year out from Squadron release? Like, they should wait a year and then keep releasing them?
For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, please use one of the conveniently located terminals.
What am I looking at? Why am I still here? Stop this. I don't want to retrieve my vehicle anymore. Gosh, I know this glitch. And my screen keeps going black. I'm just gonna watch the stream to keep playing because my monitor keeps going dark. But I think I'm stuck here. Some of them get super high, like $250,000 payments, but you definitely need a group for those. Oh, you're talking about combat missions. I see. What in the world is that? Okay, I'm gonna assume that's my ship. And they're just bamboozling me. What is the best ship to pad ram with? Probably 890 jump. Ooh, did we guess the right hangar? Oh. We did. CIG did not want to deliver. Okay. I guess we go back again. You don't think any other game will be able to pull a No Man's Sky recovery from a bad launch? It seems so unique to that game, probably because how dedicated the devs are. You definitely need a studio that's willing to put a lot of money into it over a long amount of time, and most of the big publishers wouldn't. I think Battlefield 2042 has the opportunity to do that, but I'm gonna assume they're just trying to get it to good enough state and then move on to their next project. Can I please go? Best pad ramming ship is the hover quad. I hate pad ramming, regardless of which ship is doing it. Pad ramming is just stupid. Ramming ships in general just sucks. Unless you have no other option. It's like, what's the point? Okay, these terminals are messed up.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Let's try this again. Oh, why are there 2 Corsairs?
Ready to upgrade?
All right.
Vehicle
Give me my
selection.
ship, please.
Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered
There we
to the
go.
following location.
That wasn't too hard. Let's go get the cutter. Cyberpunk and 2042 are trying, but man, they have an uphill battle. I don't think Cyberpunk will ever make it. Unfortunately, that they can't change their game as drastically as No Man's Sky did. Just seems like it'd be way too much work. Not worth it, especially because they got to keep pumping out Witcher and Cyberpunk games. There she is. Little stubby wings back there. I like these. They're cute. They look like they do absolutely nothing, but they're cute. And I'm sure someday, though, we'll appreciate them. Like, it's a little bit of lift I can generate with this ship. There are ships built for ramming, like the Vanduul ships, but we aren't Vanduul. We don't stoop to their levels. We stoop lower. We glass planets. That's what we're all about. We don't pad ram. We just melt your entire city. Yo, this has a very nice feel to it. Like, it's got a homey vibe. Can you see the door? Oh my gosh, you can see the door moving up above. That is crazy. What a nice little bit of design. Cyberpunk is currently one of the best games ever made. It depends on what you mean by best. Oh, Woody Bear. Think Starfield has a shot? I think Starfield could be a very, very nice breath of fresh air for the space game genre. We still run into plenty of bugs and issues while playing Cyberpunk, so I think it really comes down to what you think makes a game great. But you know, some people really love it. Good for them. Jeez. I mean, you can go back and watch my videos before it came out. I was so pumped for it. I was hoping for something that would be a little bit closer to an experience like what Deus Ex gives. And it's not the same kind of situation. Deus Ex is a much more international kind of global story. Cyberpunk was a very personal story. But the story was just so focused on not like, it was a very I don't know how to describe it. The story was very specific. I guess it was not focusing a ton on cyberpunk undertones so much as like the personal storytelling, which is a thing. It's a choice. That's cool. To be honest, 2077 is doing just fine these days. Won't ever be the RPG we wanted it, but it's not bad. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I'm always going to consider it bad because I'm always going to consider it supposed to be an RPG. And like, yeah, they did some RPG stuff, but I just really don't think they pulled out the stops for it. Not like a 10-year development cycle would lead me to believe. And that's, I know, ironic, playing Star Citizen. But Star Citizen is also not what I expected in 10 years. I think both those games kind of have dropped the ball for me in terms of a 10-year outlook. Like, Cyberpunk straight up has dialogue options that don't do anything. They just make you click a button just to say something. Why? It's like 2006 level RPG style. Like, we've been playing Mass Effect for the past decade. Fallout, Skyrim, like games where you talk to people and do things. And it just feels like they sort of didn't really focus that hard on that in Cyberpunk. There are a couple of occasions, but For the most part, it feels very basic. What I expect from a deep RPG. In at least the way that they were marketing it. Trying to get set up for an event the other day, and some griefer was giving a hard time to people at Port Ollie. You pulled out the C2 and Buddy set himself up to splatter on it like a mosquito on a car. I wish you could drop A2 bombs in 0G. That would have been a fun answer. Judge Skyrim on bugs too. Go ahead, I'll wait. I didn't say Skyrim was a great game, my friend. You could wait for me to judge any game. I in no way said that Skyrim was better than Cyberpunk or even a good game. Skyrim I haven't played in 8 years. Alright, first we're going to do a quick delivery mission. Should be pretty easy. There's a single package delivery mission. I want to see how it flies in atmosphere. How it does on your normal... Oh, I didn't get a tractor beam. Dang it. That was a bad move. I'll have to get when we come back to New Babbage. Oh no, did we lose to Netherlands? I figured that would have happened. It is the Netherlands. Like that's not a great matchup for the round of 16. Still have Mass Effect 1 and 2 on the to-do list. Didn't they remaster them? You like Cyberpunk's main stories much more than the side stories more than the main one? Same here. I really, really liked a couple of Cyberpunk's side stories. Specifically the one that you did for that rich couple. That was, I think, my favorite part of the game. It also has dialogue options that prevent entire missions, so it does. Cyberpunk and Cyberpunk does have dialogue options that do things, but a lot of them are wastes. A lot of them feel like they are making me say things and do things that I don't want to do in a game that they led me to believe that I'd be able to play it how I wanted to. And I don't want to make every single decision, but like when I compare it to older RPGs that I've played, it falls short on some of those areas. Not saying it's the worst game in the world. Not saying it's not the best game in the world for you. We can have different opinions on it, but I don't think that it held up its side of the deal when I signed on for that agreement. But I'm probably going to play it on stream sometime soon, so we can have the convo in real time. Cuz I've been watching my wife play it a little bit recently, and I was actually surprised that she ran into some of the same glitches that I had back near launch. So I know it's better, but I'm surprised that they missed some of them. Skyrim was a cool game. I think Skyrim was a cool game design. I'm not much of a fantasy game player, and not huge on them. But like the design of Skyrim was a cool evolution of what Bethesda does. I really like Oblivion. I think that was one of my favorite RPGs ever. And Skyrim was a cool addition to that. I'm interested to see what they do with Starfield now that they've got a new IP to play with, new atmospheres to deal with. It's their first time actually diving into the RPG realm since Fallout 4. It's been like 6 years. They've been building that game for 6 years. 6 years plus. I'm interested to see what they did with it. Been playing and good game are two entirely different conversations. Most of the dialogue options in 2077 don't matter, only the dialogue options on the last quest, which changed the game ending. It's so disappointing in considering the marketing. Yeah, I really do wish that more of it had felt like it mattered. I think the ultimate travesty, though, they really should work on a DLC for this, was like the introduction to Night City with Jackie. That whole intro that you just watch instead of play. I would love if they made a DLC of that. Because that's got to be a really interesting story. Yo, this thing's not, like, this thing can turn. What if I'm not yawing? How does it do? This thing's more maneuverable than an Aurora. I don't know if I'm going faster. I might be going slower than I would be in an Aurora. But 100 SCM, And I'm like in a windstorm right now in atmosphere, and it's not bad. All right, let's bring it down. Set her down. Whoop, 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 whoop. Why am I controlling my camera and not the ship? There we go. You're all right. Hype is to blame for hate for Cyberpunk, but expectations are a personal problem. I never bought into all the hype, so maybe that's why I don't mindlessly hate it. I'm not mindlessly hating the game. What are you on about, dude? I'm literally just saying what I don't like about the game. Just because I don't think it's the best RPG out there doesn't mean I'm mindlessly hating it. And hype is determined by the company. Cyberpunk gets hate for the same reason Star Citizen does, because they set the expectations and then they don't meet them. Cyberpunk came out and gave us a demo on a mission and said, this is how missions in this game play out. You can go find other sources, you can go find other paths, you can do other things, you can finish the mission in another way. And you know how many missions actually worked like that in that game? You can count it on 2 hands. Because that wasn't the actual game. That was a vertical slice that looked really good. And the game isn't bad. That stuff still exists in the game, but the way that they sold it, that was the normal way the game played, wasn't true. That doesn't mean it's a bad game. I like, the idea that hype is the reason that people don't like Cyberpunk is crazy. It's not the same game they marketed. It's similar. It's close. It's got aspects that they talked about. But there was definitely a gap between like the expectations they set and what came out. And it didn't help that what they also released was very broken. Like that, you can't look past that. And Star Citizen's broken, Cyberpunk is broken, Callisto Protocol is broken, 2042 is broken, Halo Infinite was broken. All these games are broken, and they deserve crap for it. So I don't think calling games out for that stuff is mindless. I don't think saying your opinion about a game based on something that was set up by the company itself is a bad deal. I think a lot of game companies need to learn to be better about that. Yeah, the rich couple mission was freaking fantastic. I loved the way that played out. I really, really wanted to play more of that. And I hope that that's kind of the direction the DLC is leaning in. I'm going to get the DLC because I think their story, their writers are great. And they probably had more time to work on that DLC than the rush job that was the original game. So I look forward to that DLC. But like, the game is not what was expected. Put the box down, dang it. We don't got time for this. There's a storm outside. Hey, Coffee Gaming. There we go. Honestly, I'm excited for Cyberpunk the same reason I'm excited for Starfield, because they put it on the radar. Now we're going to see more Cyberpunk games. We're going to see more excitement for Cyberpunk. Maybe Deus Ex will make a comeback. Maybe Observer will get more funding. Like, even if the game isn't what I wanted, again, I'm not saying it's a failure of a game, because it both did something different, right? They did a Cyberpunk action-adventure game, which God knows we are thirsty for, and I love that. And it brought more interest to the Cyberpunk genre. And for those reasons, I'm glad that it exists. But I'm not going to call it a great game or a game that I love just for those reasons. More nuanced than that, you know? Don't think he meant you, he meant everyone. Maybe. And my apologies if I took that incorrectly. Hey, Galactic Warrior, how you doing? Hype is like concept ships. Just because you can buy them doesn't mean you should. Hype is also like talking about persistent entity streaming and when it will come out. Just because it's said that it will be a certain way doesn't mean it will. And sometimes companies misspeak, or say the wrong thing at the wrong time, or set our expectations too high. And this freaking eye tracker fell off my computer. Oh, we just turned all the way around. Main quest line and CP sucked. I hated it. The rest of the game was great bugs and all. Yeah, did it feel like the main quest line suffered from star power? Like they kind of tried to rewrite the whole story for Keanu Reeves? How do I even get this? There's like a magnet on the eye tracker here, and it's stuck. And I don't have the finger strength to pull it off. Oh, this is unfortunate. Huh. Okay, no eye tracker for the rest of the day. Lots of early SC backers feel the same way about SC and Squadron 42. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's definitely a parallel in telling people about a game and then not shipping the game that you told people about. Where are we going? Microtech. They stated themselves that they had to cut about 1/3 or more of what they wanted from Cyberpunk because they couldn't make it work in time. Yeah, I believe that. They probably had to cut a lot of stuff. If they made a no-tech upgrade Deus Ex with anywhere near the level of story and attention and playability, I would buy it at full price today. Deus Ex just hits a different way from Cyberpunk. I don't know what it is. I think I've got to go back and play it again. The atmosphere of it, not like the world design. I think Cyberpunk has better world design and all that stuff, but the atmosphere, the turmoil, you get more involved in like the overall culture of what's going on in Deus Ex. Like there are terrorists, you're dealing with augmented people, bombings, the idea of how they fit into the world, how the corporations are trying to use that to their advantage, and then like the shadow company in the background, like the conspiracy theories, all that stuff. Like it's super deep 80s and 90s cyberpunk vibes. Cyberpunk had a much more approachable, I think, kind of setup. Like it felt like a more of an action adventure game that you could jump into and just enjoy. You didn't have to be that invested in the story or the characters. It helped. You could get invested in the story and characters. They were great storylines with the characters and the romances and like their different stories. Not to say that wasn't there, but I think it was more accessible, which is probably better for it in the long run. But Deus Ex just really does a good job of selling Cyberpunk. Not the game, the genre. And it's just more my flavor, you know? People will disagree. I don't hold that against them. Deus Ex is not a game for everybody. Cyberpunk's not a game for everybody. That's just how I feel. Should you buy the tracker today or wait around for it to go on sale? I'd wait for it to go on sale. It's expensive. Useful and worth it if you don't have anything else to spend that money on, but it's expensive. There's also a discount code that I have. I think will get you 5% off if you want an immediate sale. Just type in eye tracker or hit the link or something. Your Cyberpunk experience is based on waiting 1 year to play it and then adding 200 plus mods. Oh, I've never played it with mods. I bet mods make it amazing. I imagine that'll change it a little bit. You think Deus Ex felt more intimate? It definitely was more kind of philosophical, I think. Which may go poorly in today's industry. I don't really know. Where are we landing to deliver this package? This thing is very maneuverable in atmosphere. For like the brick that it looks like, this ship goes. Oh my god, this is so annoying, my monitor. All right. Ooh, a new System Shock. Aren't they doing a remake of System Shock? Cyberpunk was a lot more satirical and tried to tell you when you were supposed to respond emotionally to something rather than naturally. Like they kind of handheld you through the encounters. Cyberpunk, I wish they had more time for it. I wish it wasn't like had to come out that year. A couple more years for that game probably could have made... It's a good game on its own, but I like to think about what it would have been. And I'm really excited for the sequel. Because they got to learn now, they've got the IP out there, they know they've got the backing, and they've kind of got a fire under their butt to prove themselves with the next one. So the sequel could actually be really fun. Might be a controversial take, but I hope it has nothing to do with Johnny Silverhand. I hope they tell us a completely different story in Night City that is more about the city itself. OG Deus Ex or the Square Enix version? I think overall the IP itself has been handled pretty well with that kind of stuff, but obviously it's the OG Deus Ex that carries the reputation. Yeah, I'll have to mod Cyberpunk when I play it again. Never tried that. And when my wife was playing it, she was on Xbox, so... Adam Smasher deserved more play. Yo, Adam Smasher should have been romanceable. Come on. You can't put somebody named Adam Smasher in the game and not let me test it out. If you want a deep game, go check out Dwarf Fortress. Is that a... is that real? Is that like actually one of those games that's like you think it's gonna be very one-dimensional and then it's super deep? There was what is that game that came out last year? I think it's a simulator kind of like horror kind of game. Toki's gosh, what is that? I think it was a romance simulator, but it's really, really deep. Does anybody know the game I'm talking about? Super highly critically acclaimed, and you just wouldn't expect it. Doki Doki Literature Club, that's it. Yeah, have you played that? I feel like that's one of those games. You recommend it, somebody looks at it, face value, and they're just like, why would I play this? And they go play it, and 2 days later, they're like, oh, God bless you. I can't believe you introduced me to that. Ooh. Cyberpunk 2077 Part 2 starring Nicolas Cage. Get out of here. Game of the Year material. Yes. I want that. Nicolas Cage living in my mind for 15 hours of cyberpunk adventuring. All right. Finished up our mission. 3,000 UEs. Not bad. We got to see how much it costs to refuel this ship. Honestly, I don't think it's much. It's not saying much. You're going to be in a starter ship, you're going to be delivering packages, and you're not going to care about your fuel. But overall, this thing seems pretty solid for at least just flying around. In atmosphere, it flies great. In space, it seems to fly great. We didn't really judge its quantum travel speeds yet, but we'll get there. Did I say KFC date sim? KFC dating sim? It's a new app. KFC is trying to stay relevant, so they started a dating app. I don't know why I would have said KFC date sim. That was a definitely a typo, a brain typo. All right, on a favorite, taking my helmet off because I don't need that. I got to drink some water. Got myself a little smoothie up in here. You don't see any comments on here that are being addressed. Are comments being addressed from somewhere else? Comments on the chat? You mean you don't... Am I not answering YouTube chat? Hey Trey, how's it going? Can you drink this? Okay. I think I'm drinking. Ah, geez. These are the little glitches that I always wonder. Is this something that would be fixed by server meshing? Is this just server tick rate having an oopsie? Or is this something deeper? They actually made a KFC dating sim. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. Didn't know about that. How about games you've been led to believe will be incredibly deep but end up paper thin? Cough, ED cough. Games that I've been led to believe will be incredibly deep but are super thin. Honestly, Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda kind of comes to mind. That game felt like it was going to be a space exploration RPG. With the trailers, with the way that they set it up at first. Oh, you're going to a new galaxy. It's a new story for Mass Effect. You don't actually know the stuff going on. And then that was only kind of true. And that's what it feels like Starfield's going for. It feels like Starfield could actually hit that. And some of the things that they've been talking about recently, the way they've been making planets, the way they've been curating exploration, sounds like they might get it done. They might hit like a really solid middle ground. Oh, our ship's already here. They might hit a really solid middle ground for space RPG. You were chatting away on YouTube and didn't get a response. I might have missed your message. Sorry, I'm not answering every message just because they're very fast. Can you leave my hand? I don't like hearing you sloshing around as I run. Stop sloshing. You see the latest Star Citizen Live? One of the dev slipped up and kind of hinted Pyro won't be coming next year. I did not see that. What did they say? I would assume, so it was I think it was a Sandbox team, right? I would assume the Sandbox team doesn't know that for sure. I guess it depends on what they said though. Who cares about YouTube chat? Okay, come on now. What's going on? Oh. Let me out. Outer Worlds? Yeah. Outer Worlds was, I guess, I don't know. I'm not going to say Outer Worlds fell short of what I expected. I kind of expected like a double A hub-based adventure game. I definitely wasn't expecting it to be something equivalent to like Mass Effect or Starfield. Tired of being alone? We'll help you. Shut up, bot. Thank you, Skippy. Matt does stuff. How you doing? Did I miss your thoughts on the Cutter R? How about its crazy small signature with weapons and engine off, but power on? It's like 300 meters to detect it. I'm still feeling it out for now. I've got about, I've only got like 30 minutes left before I have to jump into Daymar rally practice. Still running some missions on it and stuff. I kind of want to go check it out with a bounty now. See how it does in a fight. Nobody says hi Twitch when they get a highlight reel moment. Hi Twitch. It's just all say hi back right there and then. The new Starship Troopers Squad FPS game is looking amazing. Isn't that one like 12 people? They haven't started working on Pyro environments. The Sandbox team hasn't? What have we been looking at? Or they mean like they're redoing Pyro environments or something? Like they're gonna update them since Pyro took so long to come out? Yeah, what's the locations team? To be honest, environments, the locations, the Sandbox team in Montreal is not who I'd be worried about getting stuff done for Pyro. I imagine they could get their stuff done in 6 to 8 months, because that's just what they've been doing. They introduce concepts, they get them in the game. They talk about hospitals, they get them in the game. Like the Sandbox team is great. I'd be more worried about the people who are working on like missions, factions, and the simulation of the Pyro system. That's who I want to hear from. Systemic Services team and the AI teams. But God knows when they'll talk about it. They basically said they were not making locations for Pyro because it's a long way away due to server meshing. That's weird. When they say long way, what do they mean? 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 8 years? The part where he slipped up is at minute 33. Watch until minute 36. Jared makes it way, way worse after saying Pyro still needs months and months. Thank you for this $5 or the 5 CHF super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think Pyro is definitely months and months away. Because they confirmed that 319 is still coming Q1, quarter one of 2022 or of 2023. So Pyro would definitely not be coming until after that. And Pyro's certainly not going to come for our Q2 update. It's not coming in the summer. I said that last summer, but ever since the stuff that's happened with PES, I don't think it's coming in the summer. I think at the best we'll see Pyro by the end of next year. But I'll have to go watch this episode and see what they're saying, if they are setting expectations further out than that. Ah, they do derelict ships, you're right. They're not yet putting UGF bunkers in Pyro yet. They're making them for Stanton first, since it's also dependent on yet to implement mechanics. I see. I want to say there was some kind of some hint that was dropped about those bunkers coming to Stanton, which was kind of surprising. Can't remember. That might have actually been the derelict outposts. Didn't expect them to be adding those to Stanton. Pyro is really waiting on the tech. Server meshing and whatnot. Maybe that's specific to their team. Yeah, it probably is. From what we've seen, these teams, while they communicate with each other and talk to each other, they aren't fully on the same page with one another. So like, for instance, the people who are working on Gen 12 will be excited for a new patch because they don't actually know what's going on when it comes to like new locations and new ships and stuff. So it is possible that they're speaking more towards just their team and what they're doing. But I don't know. I'll have to watch the episode and see what they say. All right. Very low risk over Magda. We're not flying to Magda. Very low risk. No, that's a player bounty. Not doing that. Transportation to Calliope. Oh, this is going to be an on foot. Why can't I just get simple fight people missions in ships? Why you gotta make me fly all the way across the star system? Jeez. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna be a bit late to this racing thing. Okay. I'm gonna have to fly over to Hurston, I guess. Now we can see how this thing does in Quantum. Probably not great, since it's like a small ship and it's got the base Quantum drive in it. Didn't they say time but needs months? Probably end of year. End of year for Pyro is what I'm hoping for. That's best case scenario in my opinion at this point. Think you're wrong about that, but I understand why you want to undersell. Wrong about what? About Pyro not coming next summer? I'd rather be wrong about that and not be wrong about it coming next summer for sure. Ross, thank you so much for the super chat. Love your lives, never stop. I will never stop. Whether it's just chilling here playing games or doing some kind of a broadcast with other people, I think I'm always going to be doing some sort of streamer broadcast from now on. Thank you, though. I'm glad we were able to get through the 2 weeks of no streams. It's a hard 2 weeks. It's a hard 2 weeks. I couldn't drink enough tea to make up for it. Oh, to be honest, it was in some ways it was nice to take a step back and just kind of watch things unfold in Star Citizen over IAE, because that was a week. That's a lot of drama. Jax is still stuck there. IAE Expo in Pyro. You heard it here first. It seems like it. With the latest episode, it seems like that they want to get a team out to Pyro to film stuff out there, so. Cut her into a cave easy. Oh, that's a good point. It could fit into a cave. There's no way Pyro will be part of 4.0, right? I don't think 4.0 will come out without Pyro. It'd be really interesting to know how many star systems they are currently working on, if it's just Nyx and Pyro, or if there's more. I think it's probably just Nyx and Pyro, if that. They might just be taking a break on Nyx right now, until Pyro is done. Tomato, trust me, watch the part where he says that it's minute 30. Oh, I believe you. I believe they said it. I mean, I just think it depends on the interpretation of it. So I'll go watch the episode and see what they say. Wonder what player outposts and bases will be like. Hopefully something added in the next few years. 3 years, maybe. Minimum. For player bases. It sounded like server meshing is not even close. But that... I wouldn't take the things that the Sandbox team is saying to give us details about server meshing. They know their timeline, but like there's really no way of knowing, I believe, if it's working or not. Or like what the timeline would be on it. Ooh. What are these colors? Why is it yellow out there? Oh, because of the window, right. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a great way to estimate the timelines. Yeah, I don't think... I mean, we could take Jared's word as well. But again, I'm not going to assume Jared knows what's going on with server meshing either. Whoops. Wasn't even that much drama in your opinion? Well, it's more than I have in my daily life. What's the culture like in Turkey regarding alcohol? It depends. It depends on the people you're with. Many people don't care. Drink away. Get messed up and not remember the night. Other people will, say don't drink on a certain day, on a holiday, don't drink at a certain time. Alcohol isn't sold after 10 p.m. So it kind of depends, but you can get alcohol pretty freely, pretty regularly. They have their own national drink called rakı, which is a lot. Think that other systems will catch up while we wait for server meshing. Well, the nice part is that they could be working on server meshing and also, like somebody said, be working on systems like Nyx, Odin, maybe Castra, possibly Terra, but probably not in any sort of haste. Not like they would be for Pyro. Why is it yellow out the windows? Yeah, that got me too. Honestly, the biggest complaint you have is Squadron 42. You don't care about that game at all. That's fair. But Squadron 42 is going to be a source of funding. So it does matter. Even if you don't care to play single-player games, it is an important part of the puzzle. End of 23 seems way too slow. the stuff they're trying to do with server meshing is slow. It doesn't. It doesn't. It seems like they're doing something that they don't know how to do for the first time. So, you know, you run into problems, you run into issues, you run into bottlenecks, and things slow down more than you expect. So, yeah, I mean, it is slow, end of 23, but I just hope that it can be at that point. That's what I hope for. That's where I'm at. If they haven't finished their contributions to Pyro and those are required for it to be ready, they might not know about server meshing intimately, but they will know their own timelines. They will know their own timelines, yeah. And it's not surprising that their timelines mean months and months. Just looking at what they did with the MSR and 600i derelicts and the, what's it called? The derelict ruins, those were like 6 to 8 month turnaround. And if they haven't started on any derelicts for that system yet, then I guess it makes sense if they're just starting it now and it's months and months away. But it's also like surprising that they wouldn't have. I wonder if they're redoing stuff. Go to practice. Well, I am going to be late to the practice. Looks like it hasn't started yet. Starts in 10 minutes. You say that now, but y'all are going to be pumped on Squadron 42 when it drops. I'm going to be super pumped for it. I love single player games. That's why I'm super excited for Starfield too. How are you liking the cutter so far? It's pretty nice. It's got a lot going for it. I'm surprised. About to put it into a fight and see what happens though. And see what happens. We all know. Wait, is this? Ooh, is this an atmosphere flight? We all know how I do when it comes to dogfighting, so we'll see. Micro tick. Hey, Drazen! Dude! You subbed up! I should be giving you subs. Come on, man. You're a mod. 26 months? Drazen has basically been here since like month 2 or month 3 that I started streaming. That's how I keep track of how long I've been streaming. Thank you so much, dude, for modding, for playing, for hanging out, for being in the, for helping run the org. Unfortunately, Drazen doesn't get too much fun out of playing the game right now, so we don't get to do that. We don't even get to play Halo anymore. What's up, Alpine? What do you expect? When do you expect Squadron 42 to be dropped, and shouldn't it speed up some aspects of the game? A lot of dev resources are working on solo mode with a lot of tech developed for it. I do think, yeah, the fact that they need to get Squadron 42 out the door, right? They can't keep dragging it along like Star Citizen and just working on it as they do. They actually have to get to a point where Squadron is good to ship and ready to go. So they need to have finalized features, polished experiences, and properly functioning systems, which means those things, once they're finished for Squadron, will improve the experience of Star Citizen. Because let's be honest, they could have just kept doing Star Citizen in alpha and constantly been sitting... Wait, what is going on? Why is it taking me back to Microtech? Get out of here. Are you serious? No. There's no way it wants me to go back to freaking Microtech for this bounty after I flew all the way to Hurston. Oh my god. No, I'm going back to Hurston. This is not the way. Where is that dang planet? This is ridiculous. I didn't sign up for this. Putting the cutter through its paces, apparently. Look at the quantum travel fuel, though. It's nowhere. It's not... We haven't lost any. I don't subscribe to the idea that Squadron 42 drops and hundreds of developers move to Star Citizen to make it faster, but I do think that forcing CIG to actually make functional features for Squadron is definitely going to benefit Star Citizen. We're seeing that with EVA, seeing that with scanning. We're probably going to see that with ship combat, FPS combat, and other things like that. So that does help, but in a weird roundabout way. Do you plan on doing a live Corsair review? Probably, yeah. I did first impressions of it and got to see it a little bit. But I'll probably take the Corsair out in the next couple of weeks and like put it through its paces. I'll get a couple of people. We'll do a full multi-crew review for it over a few hours. We're going to have 3.30 before we get 4.0. Do you guys hate me if I say that I'd... Okay, I'm not going to say I don't care. I love the idea of going to a new system, but the only thing that they have said is guaranteed with 4.0 is a new star system and server meshing, right? So I know that there are a lot of opportunities for what they could do with 4.0 and even after 4.0 because server meshing is in the game, but I'm a features kind of guy. I love my features. I love my gameplay progress. So if they were going to say, hey, we're making plenty of money, but we can't sell ships or put in new systems for the next 2 years, but we're going to keep working on the features we're working on. We're still seeing hold on a second. I'm actually working on a script for this. Let me pull this up real quick. I haven't actually started the script, but I kind of got some outline points down. This is a video I'm probably putting out at the end of next week. But like just getting together some of the features that are coming to vehicles that we've seen. Everything on this list is stuff that we've seen in engine already working. Quantum travel rework, fire hazards, resource management, cargo refactor, passenger transport missions, repair, UI updates, vehicle tractor beams. It's not a game-changing list of features, but it shows that there's like a lot of stuff kind of on the cusp that's actually being worked on, that's not just being talked about, but is functioning in engine at some point. If they were going to say, hey, we've got 10 more patches that are looking like the patches you got in 2022, I'd be excited. I'm not... I guess what I'm saying is my happiness is not tied to 4.0 right now, because I can see that there are still a ton of features that they could release without 4.0. I think server meshing will be important for stability, for the actual game running well, to expand the play space, to make the loss system make more sense, because it doesn't make much sense with just one star system. Like, that stuff's important, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't matter, but I'm really excited for the features that we're seeing talked about right now, more than anything. Especially something like resource management, physicalized damage, passenger transport missions, salvage. Like, those things are super exciting to me, and we didn't get those for like 4 years. They talked about them for such a long time, and we're finally looking at those actual features. So I'm really excited for 4.0, and I do hope it comes out soon. But at the same time, it's the features that kind of have my attention right now, which is good, because it looks like 4.0 is nowhere near coming out. They're gonna make me go all the way to Microtech for this bounty. These people are crazy. Whoever is assigning these missions is insane. They're psychos. Feel like we will see sales for concept ships for Squadron 42 months before it drops. Concept ships for Squadron 42. Aren't we already seeing that? Basically, like the Valkyrie wasn't a concept sale, like the Legionnaire and stuff. Okay. How am I gonna fight someone if this game insists on sending me across the entire star system to do it? Wait, what's personal transport? Oh no, that's bounty hunting, mercenary. This is crazy. Okay, here we go. We got some monitors. I can just go fight pirates with this. This will work. Seeing stuff as fundamental as the interaction system changing in Squadron 42 at this point is not super promising for the timeline. Not? I honestly thought that that sentence was going to go the other way. You don't like that they're changing the interaction system? If, God, good God, if we were going into Squadron 42 with the current interaction system, I would be, distraught, to say the least. It's one of those things that I always expected that was going to change, kind of like you know there's those things. Things like physicalized damage, things like the animations of getting into ships, the interaction system, the star map. Like, these are all things that I have used throughout years and expected them to update. So I'd be kind of pissed, honestly, if they were going to try and launch a finished game with the current interaction system. Pyro would be fun to fly around and explore at first, but imagine how dope it will be if it launches with actual gameplay. Ooh, imagine actual gameplay. You just want the pool tables to work? I get that. We all have our priorities. You want 4.0 as proof that server meshing is possible. Key technology. If CIG can pull that off, all the other features can be done. That's fair. Server meshing is kind of like that. If it works sort of feature. I get that idea. Personal exploration of star systems is a feature for some of us. Yeah. Personal exploration is huge. That's my main thing. Exploration is the #1 thing I want to do in this game. That's why I don't have like a theme to my stream. A lot of people do mining, some people do combat, some people do cargo hauling. Mine is exploration and data transfer. And I can't do that yet, which sucks. But I don't think they need a new star system for that to work. I think there are plenty of places in Stanton where you can explore things and find things without them being meant to be found. So I don't really see that as being locked behind 4.0 per se. New system is great. Oh yeah, it should have happened years ago. Yeah, for sure. I'm just glad it's happening now and not later. Because that means that they're polishing some of those systems for Squadron, which is better than, you know, oh, we're grayboxing out Chapter 9, which I don't want to hear anymore. All right, let's see how this thing shoots. Do I only have 2 guns? I mean, all right. Are they gimbaled? Okay. Sure then, sure. All right, we got one thing out there. We've got another thing. Oh, yeah, another thing over there. And it looks like one more off that way. Let's get started. I'm just going to spawn the NPCs and then fight them, and we'll see what goes. The new system is just like any other game. One thing that made SC good is true click interaction with the mouse pointer, like a real flight sim. The new style is horrible. The new style. Isn't it still true click interaction? Where's my power? Weapons, cool. Do you really think they can accomplish 100 systems and all the ships in less than 20 years? No. Absolutely not. I do not know. I think we're going to be seeing star systems coming out for as long as this game exists. Come at me. Come at me, bruh. Ooh, a Cuddy Black. Data running should include global chat between systems. I could see something like that. That'd be cool. Whoa! It's highlighted like a console port with a controller. It still looks like it's modeling your mouse click, though. So it's kind of still, like, it's highlighted right now, right? Is that what you mean? Or... I don't think they would be able to not have the mouse click in this game, because you have to press buttons and stuff. And you have to be able to select multiple options when you select a button. You can't just... The buttons aren't a single option press. Okay, I can't tell if I'm even strafing up or not. I'm like trying to use some of the tips I learned from Jonathan Winters, but I think the ship might be too slow for them to matter. And this Cutlass is just like chilling here. And that's my big problem with fighting in this game. Wow. Oh, it got blown up by this station. Gosh dang it. Fighting in this game, I could never tell how fast I'm moving. It will use auto functions rather than pointing the button directly. I think the way that they're wanting to set it up is that right now, if you just press the F button, you can toggle whatever the first action is, but they don't make that clear. I think all they're trying to do with the new system is they're just making that more clear that you can just press F rather than holding the button down. But I'll have to go back and check again. Do you think they will accomplish 100 systems by 2016? Oh god. To be honest, I think if they had stuck to what they originally wanted to do with this game, they'd be pretty far along with the systems. I mean, I don't think they'd have more than like 15 to 20, but I think we would have a decent amount of systems by now if they had just stuck to like basically what Starfield is doing, actually. The original goal, they were shooting for less than what Starfield was doing. I don't think they wanted the planets to be explorable. I mean, it would have taken them some time to get up to speed, of course. They have to build the company and all that jazz still, but they would have been much further along than they are now. You the only one who uses a Microsoft controller for SC? I usually do, but I lost mine. I like to have one on hand for filming and stuff. How's the cutter? It's great! This thing is impressive. It's doing very well, and I'm not the best fighter, and I'm fighting, like, very basic AI. But dogfighting-wise, it's not super maneuverable, it's not really fast, so, like, dogfighting with some more intensive maneuvers, like strafing and stuff, to try and throw off the pips, which is something that I've learned, takes forever. The ship doesn't have good upwards and downwards mobility. So, like, this isn't going to be a great dogfighter. It can defend itself. It can do small missions like this, but I wouldn't take it into a big battle or anything like that. The cargo space is nice, too. 2 SCU is pretty cool. In fact, why don't we jump down to the moon real quick and see how much we can put on there. How much Laranite we can get on there. Just to get an idea. And flying in atmosphere is better than I thought it would be. With the VTOL thrusters in combination, like VTOL thrusters don't really matter right now, but once we get the heat system and control surfaces, those VTOL thrusters are going to help a lot. This seems like a really great package. Why can't I jump? Take me to Lathan. You think Star Citizen will still be relevant in 20 years? I do. Yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. This game will likely not reach a live status for another 6 to 8 years, at the minimum. If this game goes live with, let's say, 200 ships, that's a lot. Let's say 150 unique. Okay, let's say 120 unique ships and 10 stars. That's a lot. 6 star systems. If they can add new star systems in multiple times every year and bring out new ships and continue to polish the functionality, why would the game not be relevant? If it's a healthy game, if they can build it healthily, I don't see any reason why this game wouldn't last 20 years from now. Something like RuneScape can. When we get pets, I want a grooming machine so I can fly my Cuddy Black around as a mobile professional dog groomer. Oh, the ways we're gonna make a living, huh? Ship is basically a container with engines. It works surprisingly well with that model in mind. I want to see Drake make a ship like the Slave One in Star Wars. Something that lands on its back. Just really weird. No point, there's nothing to do in the game. Most things are broken when you do missions, or the game just breaks. Food, drink, just waking in the bed will break the game. I don't know if that's a continuation of another comment or a copy pasta. I'm old enough that it's actually possible I might be dead before they finish. I mean, technically we all could. I know a couple of people who have passed away before this game ended up happening, unfortunately. It's pretty sad. I know a couple people who have passed away. Oh yeah. I have a friend, not a friend, an acquaintance, somebody that I once knew who was very excited for No Man's Sky. And the game came out and they hated it. They were just like they really sucked. They were like to No Man's Sky what I was like to Star Citizen. And the game came out and they hated it, and they wanted it to become something good, and they were super excited to see that studio kept building it, but they were not able to see it end up becoming its final thing. And I think that was the first time I realized that like a lot of people are going to actually not make it to the end of development cycles of these games now that they're taking so long to make, and it sucks. Like, oh shoot. Shoot. I don't have a helmet on. Oh my gosh, did I not bring my helmet? Please tell me I brought my helmet. I didn't bring my helmet. I drank a smoothie and it got me killed. Okay, we can do this. We can handle this. We just got to land by the door. But yeah, like these long development cycles end up with possibly not making it to the actual game launch, which is really sucky. Yeah, and even if this game isn't relevant, what they've built will be. Like, the game engine they've made from this, if everything else fails, that can make them a ton of money. The game engine, some of the other technology they've made, the IP itself. I think they've got a pretty decent long-term outlook with this game. The new system is good for controller, but no flight sims use a controller. At least get some VKBs. Even a simple Thrustmaster for 60. Look at me, check me out. I finally got a HOTAS. I think everybody should know mouse and keyboard though. Just for sanity's sake. All right, where's the cargo one? It's got the blue pylon on top, right? No, it's got the orange pylon. This is the cargo one. So what I'm gonna do... Oh, jeez. Big ol' whoops there. Just gonna land this like that. There we go. Oh, ship's too big. Let's turn it a little bit. Normal ship flight behaviors. Imagine if you came to an outpost in real life and you saw somebody doing this. I see people do stuff like this with their cars all the time. They just get stuck in grass and like just flipping around trying to figure out how to park. You always keep a spare helmet on the ship. That is a good call. That is a very good call. I always tell people, I am full on this game, but I do not play it how it's meant to be played. Very bad at it. And I'm still waiting for that moment when this is the kind of game that like I want to take seriously and play in the way it's meant to be, but it's still not there. Soon. We're getting there. Inventory stuff. Your nursing home better have good Wi-Fi. Yo, mine too. Better also have a good HOTAS setup. Like, nursing homes are going to need to start stocking up on HOTAS, on eye trackers, and all that jazz. They could sell some of the tools that they've developed. They could. Interestingly, it sounds like Starfield actually is building planets in a kind of similar way to what Star Citizen does. It surprised me to hear that. I'm going to make a video that talks a little bit about it next week. But overall, it was interesting to see that like what CIG has been doing clearly is kind of on the right path for making these more detailed planets. And you can see that there are other studios that are trying to do the same thing. Maybe that's why they changed to CI. Maybe. Go, 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 go. No, Pete, I'm not saying that Starfield is building the same game as Star Citizen. You misheard me. I said that. Oh, you're responding to Trey. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the game itself, just the planets. Just the way that they build the planets. I was very surprised to see similarities between what CIG is doing. Now clear a bunker with the HOTOS. Can you actually keybind your HOTOS to control your player? I got some cargo, doing the space truck and run. Yeah, I don't think Starfield is an SC killer. If anything, Starfield's gonna help Star Citizen. I don't think it's gonna be in bits when it comes out. I think that Bethesda being owned by Microsoft means that they have to release games different than they have in the past. They can't just... Because Starfield is now arguably the biggest IP at Microsoft. Halo has lost its flair. I hate to admit it, because I love that franchise. Gears of War is still... has always been kind of the hovering around in the you know, that area. But games like Minecraft, Forza, like those kinds of things aren't exactly console sellers. Starfield is going to have to sell consoles. Like, they have a job now to provide a reason for people to buy Xboxes, so that game has a lot more riding on it than Bethesda's other releases. And I think that Microsoft's pressure probably gives Bethesda more reason to release a more complete package. Not to say that there won't be any bugs, but even in this most recent interview with Todd Howard, he acknowledged that, like, we are among a different crowd now. We can't release games like we used to. We have to make sure that they reach the standard that Microsoft wants, and for that reason we needed to delay the game. I think that's kind of telling, and just solidifies what was already set up when Microsoft went out to E3 and started their whole presentation with Starfield. Not with Halo, not with Gears of War, not with Forza, not with Redfall. They started it with Starfield. Like, there's a lot riding on that game. I don't think it's going to kill Star Citizen, but I think it's going to be a boon for the space game market, for the industry. I think it's going to bring a lot more people into space games, and when they play Starfield and they finish that RPG experience and they get that good package of space stuff, a lot of those people are going to be like, man, this is great. Space games are cool. There's a lot of opportunities here. Apparently games can now make full planets. Where can I find more of this? And they're going to find games like Elite Dangerous, like Space Engineers, like Star Citizen, like No Man's Sky. I think that's going to be pretty good for Star Citizen. And for that reason, Star Citizen better hope that 4.0 is in a good place by the end of next year. I didn't check local storage for a helm. Oh, you know, that's a good point. They leave some of that stuff there now, huh? Wish this game had more star systems. Me and you both. I wish it was further along right now, I do. Isn't Starfield just building a normal flat plains to explore as their planets? At least I haven't heard anything about free planetary takeoff and landing. I thought they would be. But from what it sounds like, they have actually managed to make global maps in Starfield. And create a gridded planetary creation tool that can wrap that globe in the maps. We gotta confirm. We haven't seen that said, but we haven't seen that done, but that is what was said. And if they're making that specific point, then that probably means they're actually doing it, because it's a lot harder to make a global map than it is to just make a flat plane and make it feel like a planet. That's what surprised me, though. 16 times the detail in It Just Works won't be good enough anymore. I'm saying that Todd Howard, Chris Roberts, and Peter Molyneux are all cut from the same cloth. And the things they say are true in some ways and not so true in others. And I can get as excited for what is said about Starfield as I can for what is said about Star Citizen, because there's no knowing what kind of hiccups they'll run into. CIG seems to be struggling to hire. Yeah, I mean, I think retention in the industry is not great right now. Across the industry, lots of companies are cutting jobs. Lots of companies are cutting overhead, and people are demanding higher salaries, so they're probably not hiring as well as they were a year ago. Maybe they're hiring better. I don't know. Hope you're right, but I'm assuming it's standard Bethesda will be broken on arrival, thus avoiding disappointment. Honestly, was like Skyrim or Fallout 4 that broken? I don't remember. I know that Fallout 76 was, which was a different type of game and a different studio. And I know that they've had bugs with these games pretty regularly. I remember the paintbrush bug in Oblivion. That was a fun one. But like, are they unplayable broken? So I've never really played one of their games at launch. Star Citizen will be fine until more advanced game engines come out down the road. Then other companies get the idea to copy the model of SC. I think we're not far off. Seeing some cool things in game engines now. Good old Peter. Petey Pete. They made a leveling system for planets. Yeah, for whole star systems. I don't like that. That's like the worst thing I've heard about Starfield so far. Starfield is going to be closer to the OG pitch than SC was. Cut out the multiplayer, and it kind of, yeah, it's kind of leaning that way. Can we land? Skyrim still has broken quests. Just gotta mod those out, huh? '76 is pretty good now. Yeah, 76 I heard has gotten better. I think people put a lot of emphasis on Fallout 76 when judging Bethesda. Like, a lot. Still have some broken stuff till today if you don't use community patches. People just gotta fix the game for them, huh? SC isn't unplayable broken, people still play it. That's true. Yeah, if we're setting Star Citizen as the standard, that's not gonna do much for us. I guess what I'm hoping, what I'm thinking is, do the Bethesda games launch, let's say, with as many glitches as something like Cyberpunk did? Because Cyberpunk was very glitchy, but I was still fine playing through it. In the sense that, like, it didn't make me so angry that I quit. But I don't... There's always been the obvious and deserved reputation of Bethesda games being kind of broken. I just never knew how much they were on release. So I never gotten one of those games on release. Creating something in engine isn't the same as creating a game. Is that in reference to the planet conversation of them making planets? It was fine on launch, but did have some bugs that could break things. Okay. AI game engines. Oh my gosh. The Matrix, basically. Do you not hold out any hope that CIG will exponentially increase the speed of star system development? Also, don't forget to hydrate. Thank you. I do. I think that their speed of development will increase exponentially, but I don't know what exponent that's going to be. No? Is it to the second power or to the fifth power? Like, are they going to be pumping out... This is like one of the biggest questions I have for this game. When they get to that point of, like, we are chugging along at production. Star Citizen is in a good place. We've hit like beta level of feature development. They're basically just like polishing and getting things ready. We're 4 years down the line, right? Are you making one system every 2 quarters? One system every year? One system every quarter? Could we possibly see an update with multiple systems? Like, I don't know how much it's going to accelerate. So I always assume that we won't get any better than seeing, say, 2 systems per year. And if I keep myself to those expectations, I can get handily impressed, or I could still be depressingly wrong. So it goes either way. But I do think they'll speed up. Just a matter of how much. They hyped it so much that it was much more of a letdown. What is that, Pete? Talking about Fallout 76? I think Star Citizen still has a little ways to go to be compared to normal games. It is true that normal games get released pretty broken nowadays, but we're still missing that critical mass of variety in the gameplay in this game. In my honest tomato opinion. Clinton! Thanks for the community sub, my friend. Thanks for gifting that one out, man. Been around for a while as well. Thank you so much. Playing a Bethesda game on release is like running a benchmark on an unstable overclock. Mass Effect Andromeda was both broken and not done. Yeah, Andromeda was that was rough. I loved Mass Effect Andromeda. I know a lot of other people say they didn't, but when I talk to people in person, they say they like it. I like parts of it. But like Cyberpunk, it didn't really feel like it hit the mark that it was going for me. Jaybird, I'll catch you later. Thanks for hanging out. 76 was a horrible tragedy that could have been great. They removed the survival mode, which was the only long-term potential for the game. They should have just skipped that game. I don't know if they were just trying to get in on live service games. They wanted to make a multiplayer game to cash in or what, but they should have freaking skipped that game. Oh my gosh. Buy helmets. I don't think I'm going to be going back into space, and actually race practice is probably out there, so I might be going back into space for a little bit here. Skirty! Hey, what's up, dude? You were talking about 76, Pete. I remember my barber back in the day, like 2017-ish, 2018, was so pumped for Fallout 76. He got like the special edition. He bought the helmet. Every time I was coming in for a haircut, he was telling me about the new exciting news for it. And all the while, I just couldn't bring myself to tell him. It's like, dude, this does not look like it's going to be good. You just hope beyond hope that it will be. But I just wasn't feeling it. It's like, dude, I don't know. The signs are pointing to this not ending up great. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I made about 1,000 UEs on a trading run with one of the more valuable minerals in the game. So the cutter is not going to be a commodity trading tool, I don't think. With just 4 SCU, I was able to get 11,000 UEs worth of Layer-Nite, which is pretty valuable, and I only made 1,000 in profit on it. So, I mean, if you want to slowly creep your way up the economic ladder, you could do that. But in terms of cargo hauling, the cutter is not really there. There are singular systems, yeah, with not much in it. You are right about that. Did you watch the Detox Tactical Battle video? I did. In fact, I was just talking about it earlier. I had Detox on my podcast yesterday, and we talked a lot about that tactical video. We talked about what kind of preparation went into it, why he does it, what the plans are for doing that in the future, how it's going to work trying to run those battles when people actually care about death. We had a long, good talk for about an hour, me and Detox, and that'll be out on the podcast on Monday. Unless you are a Twitch subscriber, YouTube channel member, or Patreon member. Of course, you can always come and watch that podcast live if you'd like to. Modern games are crazy complex. And it's on the game companies to start informing the public that that's the truth. They all keep hiding behind the development process, releasing broken games and not explaining this is really freaking hard. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time, and it goes wrong a lot of the time. I think CIG is doing a good job of showing how much can go crazy when you're building a game, but Coffee Stain also does a great job of kind of explaining that sort of stuff. And we saw some things with Cyberpunk, and I think we saw something with what's it called? We're seeing some stuff with Starfield, but games need to be better about communicating how hard it is to make games so that gamers can be a little bit more, set their expectations better. Avenger 1, dude, my man. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you and your folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome aboard Avenger Squadron. Is this the squadron? Or is this like the fleet and the squadron's like inside of the, how does that work? I don't know how that works. But thanks for coming by. Welcome to the stream, folks. I am Tomato, particularly one in space. Mainly do Star Citizen stuff, kind of like Avenger 1. I make videos. You may have seen some of them. I sometimes host giveaways, which right now I'm giving away a 400i, and I die a lot. 108 times, as you can see in the corner. We mostly do talking with chat here in the stream. We talk about how the game's going, how other games are going. Test out the game. I've been testing the cutter for the last couple hours, about to start doing some Daymar rally practice if you're interested in that. But overall, pretty chill vibes here. We just hang out. Good to see you though. 07s, buddies. How you doing? Astro Cryptic, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Malachi, good to see you. Who was that? Who was that? Ten Calme 07s, my friend. And Luca 07s. No, the 108 deaths is not today's stream, don't worry. It is my rolling total. Oh my gosh. That'd be terrible. That'd be truly more than 1% every day. But if you ain't dying, you ain't trying. That's the case. If you ain't dying, you're not putting enough ships in other ships. Or maybe you're just not using enough elevators, I don't know. But it's not killing you enough, and that's not good. Kira, you having a little brain malfunction there? Jedi, you got a quick question. Think they'll have the ability to save MFD settings when you store or claim your ships? Someday. That's one of those that's like the interaction system I was talking about. I know it's a change that's going to come at some point. I'm just waiting for it to happen. 108, it's rookie numbers. Yeah, I've done a lot better at dying this year. I also haven't played the game very much this year, but I started this counter at January. What are we racing in? I actually don't know. What truck are we taking? AAA games can't fairly be compared to indie games. Sure, compare indie to indie now and 30 years ago, and you can find $20 games. But AAA to AAA now and 30 years ago, prices really haven't gone up. They haven't. I'm pretty sure when I started playing, we were still paying $60 for games. Like back in 2000, 2001.
Welcome to the ASOP
Apex Burrito, I remember you. How's it going? Good to see you, friend. You bought the Kraken for... Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's an expensive ship. So expensive, I just almost broke my microphone. That's a hefty purchase, my friend. What are we doing? Where's our cutter? Hangar 6. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up to the space station, log off, jump onto the server with my friends, and get situated for the Daymar rally practice. It's going to be a little less interaction with chat. I'll be talking a little more with the party, but I'll still mute and... Oh, crap. I don't have my stream deck. Ooh, so I can't easily mute chat. Oh, that's a huge bummer. Alright, I might be able to plug my stream deck in here during the stream. And hopefully it'll work. Yes, thank you for supporting the project. Citero with the good point. Game doesn't get built if people aren't buying ships. Not going to tell anybody to do that, though. Hangar 6. They've stayed the same, but production costs have gone way up. Yeah, which is weird. How does that work? That's why they're all trying to nickel and dime us with all these, services and, like, weird ways of launching games? Like, what, just raise the price of games. I think that's another thing that's changed from when we were kids, is like, there are a lot of games out now. back when I was a kid and I was a youngin', yay, knee high to a dingo. Back in the day, if you wanted to play a certain type of game, there were like 5 to choose from, at least in the AAA range. Like if you wanted to play a stealth game, you were playing Hitman or Splinter Cell. If you wanted to play like an action adventure RPG kind of game, you'd be playing like, I don't know, what was the name of that game? Jade Empire or like Fable or Dragon Age. There were more in the fantasy realm, but like there weren't that many games to choose from. Now, if you wanted to play all the best games that came out every year, you'd be spending hundreds of dollars, if not over $1,000, just buying games. Like, you don't have to play every game now. You pick like 3 or 4 games that you really like, spend that money, and buy those games. I don't see why game prices shouldn't have gone up by now. It's a good point. You expect games to be the price of 70 to 80 bucks by the time Squadron 42 releases? Same. I know Sony has already raised their prices, and they is anybody following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft? Sony literally was like, hey, if you guys let this go through, Microsoft isn't going to have so much competition, and they're going to be able to raise the prices of their games from 60 bucks to 70. And it's like, but Sony already raised the prices of their games to 70 bucks. Like, why are they complaining about that? It's a really, really funny saga to watch. But yeah, I think 70 to 80 bucks for a game makes sense. If it means less microtransactions and stuff. Over the last, like, 10 to 15 years, we've gotten really used to paying for things through ads and things, and I am fully on board with getting back to the point where I just outright buy something, pay a little bit more for it. That's why I love like YouTube Premium. Not the fact that I got grandfathered into it for $8 a month, but I like just being able to pay for something and get it outright. Hey Goofy, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you. Subbing with that Amazon Prime. Really hope they chill for a year and focus solely on polish and bug fixing. Game needs it. Yeah, I don't... It would be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to keep trying to polish it as they bring in new features, but they can't stop with the feature development. They slow down on features, the funding slows down, they won't have the people to do the bug fixing. And also, those new features would cause more bugs, yeah. Here's hoping for good news on Wednesday. Have my motherboard in for repair. What's Wednesday? Roadmap update? Industry is in a bad state at the moment. Gamers want everything perfect right the second. Also, no dev crunch. Also, no price hikes. It's unreal. Yeah, something's got to give. I think the first thing that we should all realize is that games are going to... Games are going to take more secure funding to make like these big, amazing games. To make a game like Starfield and work on it for 5 years without talking about it, and then only advertise it, only get people excited for it in those last 2 years, like, it's hard to make enough money doing that. And the publishers don't have enough faith in the games for that to last, I think. I don't know what needs to change, but like they got to find some way to fund these games more reliably. You mean ships, right? No. I wholeheartedly believe that Star Citizen could stop releasing new ships and only make the game more feature-rich, and they would still make a ton of money. On the flip side, if they stopped working on features and only released ships, I think that they would collapse pretty quickly. But I think that while people talk about concept ships being terrible and like bloating the game and being the only thing that they care about, I think that the game getting better is what makes people want to spend more money on ships. Like, people are more excited to buy a Vulture because we have salvaging. People will be more excited to buy an Apollo because we have medical gameplay. People will be more excited to buy an Orion if it can actually mine things as opposed to just flying around, you know? Oh, did I just put my landing gear back up? My bad. Bethesda has the money to do that. Bethesda does, but most companies don't. Unless you get bought up by a big publisher. Oh. Chris Roberts needs to wake up. The vicious cycle will run dry one day. He gotta invest the money where it matters. Again, I don't think it will. I think as long as the game is improving, they're gonna keep making money. We'd be happy if we just get the ship we already bought and still waiting for. Agreed. But also, it kind of sucks to get your ship incomplete and broken. Coming from an MSR lover, I would have much preferred to get the MSR once data running was in the game, then they wouldn't have to rework the whole inside because they were better at making the ship in the first place. They just don't want to make the investments. They want to put out an early access, collect as much as possible, and then do the bare minimum to keep engagement. Yeah, I mean, both gamers and game companies gonna have to fix themselves a little bit for the industry to work better. Isn't that the idea behind Game Pass subscription model, so they have income to count on? Yeah, and Game Pass seems to be working really well. I'm not sure how sustainable it is, because we might see those same problems that Netflix is running into, but the idea of it seems to work very well. As long as the game companies are getting that guaranteed funding that they need. They would make less money than the steady drip of ships, but I still think they would make plenty of money. Like 60 million in a year. Okay, because they don't have to sell new concepts. Somebody just spent $2,000 for a Kraken in chat. It's not like that's not going to happen if they stop selling ships. People are still going to buy Endeavors and Krakens and Orions and Perseus and Galaxies and Hulls, and all those things will still sell. And they'll be selling on the idea that they're getting gameplay that actually matters to them, as opposed to just another ship that might come at some point. Okay, we're looking for anybody from the race team. I don't think they're in this server. So what I'm going to do is try to back out. Feel like they're cramming too much into the game. Eating and shit is kind of silly, totally unnecessary, and even that feature doesn't work correctly. Why unnecessary? There's two comments in chat. One says true and one says that's not true. Raising the cost of games is mostly about increasing profit margins. Well, that's why we also need to get the right freaking regulation in line so that they stop just increasing their profit margins and actually put more money back into the games they're making. All right. Let's see if I can join this server. Oh, did I just join the wrong server? No key bindings because moved to USA from Turkey. Yeah, did somebody mention the key bindings? My whole computer got reset. I lost Windows and everything, so nothing is as it should be. Your gaming PC motherboard is in for repair, sitting on an old 32 nanometer CPU and can only play browser games. Good old integrated graphics. You think Star Citizen, with the ways to upgrade and melt and reinvest your pledges where you want, is really good? They didn't need to give those options to backers. They could have just locked people into ships they're not touching for 10 years. I feel like that benefits them, though, because it really encourages people to upgrade to ships and spend more money in the system. And like the whole war bond thing and all that stuff, like you can tell that they're definitely leaning into that. You'd have to say that CIG is working hard to include the things they need to, but you do believe a lot of it is feature bloat. I think some of those features could come later. Yeah, I agree with you there. Like boat parameters. I will always go back to boat parameters because that's just such a weird thing to try and put into this game. Yeah, I think I got into the wrong server here. Dang it. Don't you think at some point people will get tired of concept ships that have no deadline whatsoever? Yeah, but I think they can also wean off the concept ship sales. I think at some point they will have to get to a point where they say, okay, we're releasing this concept ship and it will be out in 6 months. And in 6 months, everybody can get it. But if you want to already fund the game or get the ship or guarantee you have it or get a special skin or whatever, you can buy the concept here and now. I think that's probably the direction they'll go, and I hope that's as bad as it gets. But yeah, I think people will get tired of concept sales. Some people. Unfortunately, there's always new people coming in that will be more excited for them, so. Just depends. Who's in business to make plenty of money, you want to make all the money, which is why they won't stop the ship sales. But I think theoretically, if they did stop the ship sales, they would still make plenty of money. Why do I need a cheeseburger in game? Ah, but you don't. You could just have a burrito. Which is honestly much better. A lot more variety of ingredients in a burrito. We've been hearing the death of the AAA single-player game for the better part of the last 2 decades. I understand that costs are increasing, but the market is significantly bigger. You think publishers are just pushing the narratives to sell the idea of mobile game funding models. But CIG's kind of proven that it takes a lot of money to make a game, right? Granted, they're making more than just the game. They're doing the studios and all of that stuff as well. But it does, like, the more you see it, does kind of feel like, oh, I was in the right server. Oh, that's weird. All right, I'm sending a message. How do I send a message? Maybe just a call. No, it doesn't actually call. Huh. Just let them know in chat. Do I think PES will skyrocket development? I don't, but I think it's going to unlock the ability for devs to do a lot more with the game and focus on different types of features. Like, we're already seeing it with things like with salvage and damage maps and stuff like that. The persistence required for that kind of stuff, I think, will lead to other features coming online as well. Shemp! Hey, thank you for the sub. 9 months now. Little Twitch baby. Let's name it Twitchy. Appreciate you. You get that you need fuel for your ship, but you don't need to eat. You're not going to be logged in for 24 hours. The food thing is an interesting one. I think you're onto something. I don't think that food should be an absolute necessity, but I think food has the RPG aspects of the game that they've been working on. Things like your hygiene, your food levels, your energy levels, your injuries. I think all those things give them the opportunity to make sure that you're actually planning ahead, which has always been the goal of Star Citizen. It was never meant to be a casual kind of quick game. They always wanted it to be a in-depth sim that takes a lot of time. And I think there could be a balance when it comes to food and stuff like that, in that you don't necessarily need to make sure that you've always got food in your pocket or something like that. But if you go out on a long voyage, let's say a trip where you're going out and you're living on your ship for a couple of days, like, you should have to prepare your ship with food. You should have to have stuff on board for your passengers. If you are doing passenger transport, you should have to have stuff on board for them in order to get a better rating and a better grade in doing passenger transport. But there is too far. I agree with you there. True for the MSR comment. I see. All right, we got a ways to go. Looks like they're out near Crusader, which makes sense. Once we get there, I'll jump into their voice chat. If you don't eat them, what are the toilets for? Just jokes.
selected. Stand by.
Setting up SC from scratch is real work. Yeah, that's why I'm just gonna wait, I think, until I head back to Turkey.
Location. Goodbye.
Because I'm gonna have to change computers again. And well, that's annoying. Eating and drinking gives the player nothing other than add to the timer to when you have to eat and drink again, just interrupting gameplay. But it doesn't. I just said. It adds a perfectly good complication to passenger transport missions. And it could also be a way to buff players. Like, everybody is cool with us having these skills that you can do things to make higher for the character, but why isn't that a possible thing with the food? Why can't food just be a temporary buff that you can have with your character? This is a survival game, right? You literally have to have a helmet on to go in space. Your ship can take bullets through the hull to damage your components. You can turn off gravity and send somebody into a wall to kill them. Like, there's a lot of very, very small, minute details in this game. I don't think food is a surprising one. We need more systems to visit, not more ships for one system. That's why they're working on new systems. Let me introduce you to my good old friend Pyro. We go back. We go back very far. Too far, some would say. You don't know about gaming specifically, but that's the case for most of inflation at the moment. Yeah, but game prices haven't changed in decades. I can very clearly remember when I could pay $6 to go see a movie at the movie theater. Now it's like 12. Don't think that eating and drinking is slowing the game's development in any way. One might say because they're not even working on it anymore.
Thank you, and please visit again.
But that is all actor status team, which means teams that are primarily focused on Squadron 42 right now. Alright, we'll jump to... There's nowhere really easy to respawn at Crusader, huh? You have to go to Grimhex? They're trying to sell you the idea that the game will take forever because it will. There's a reminder here, the first 4 years had to be scrapped and redone in Lumberyard. There's a lot of contracting work that they had to get redone. You see a lack of accountability when doing those concept ships. You think it's a good way to fund the game if they were sold only during concept phase and with a clear deadline to deliver it 6 months, a year, something. Agreed, I think that concept ships should be sold with like a certain expectation. The fact that they're just pictures that are dropped on the internet with not much going for them, and then people would just spend money on them. I'm not the kind of person to spend money on them. I'm not going to judge you if you are. But I think that hurts. I think that definitely hurts the expectations and the reputation around the game. Like the Odyssey, when it went up for sale, we didn't even know what it was doing. Like, we didn't know what it could refine. We didn't know what kind of exploration it was suited for. It was just a picture of a ship and a sales pitch, and it went on sale and it got bought like crazy. And that's not okay. Why would a game with light survival mechanics have food and drink? Gosh, why would they ever try and do that? Am I seeing a sub? Oh, is that from Shemp? And is that how far behind I am on chat? Let me catch up. Just feel like you should drop some money on provisions when you are loading your ship, and then that would be it. Some ships don't have toilets. So like the idea of having to put the stuff into the inventory but not actually eat it. That sounds like a decent compromise. It takes away the tangibility of the food, definitely, but you know, it could be a compromise. I think this game is caught on a lot of the extras that people have always wanted to see in games. Oh, somebody told me to hydrate too, and I just didn't. People wanted to see everything in games, in this game, you know? Like, when you're playing a game and you go to a shop and you're looking around at all the food and you're like, man, why can't I pick this stuff up? It looks so cool. Star Citizen is the kind of game where people are like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, more of that. And as the game progressed and got past the funding goals and we got towards kind of like 3.0, and honestly since like 2018 or so, the expectations that players coming in have changed a little bit. And there's going to be a lot of clashes, continuous clashes between what people wanted and what people want now. Your passengers are going to starve in your dungeon. That's solid. It's a good way to do it. Get good payment that way. Do we ever get space gentlemen's clubs? I don't think so. You like eating RPGs? Nothing better than sitting by the campfire and having a cup of coffee and some steak in Red Dead. Eating in RPGs. It is a cool little thing to do. I like the ones where you can actually make stuff. Like there are recipes. It's not super important to me, but I like it. It's a nice little detail. It's $40 now. Is it worth it? I think if it's a space game that you can see yourself playing for a long time, yeah, it can be worth it. If you need to have like immediate $45 worth of satisfaction, I would hold off. But like if you're willing to see it out for a couple of months, which plenty of people aren't, yeah, it's probably worth it. Food and drink will probably be more relevant when traits like energizing and such do more, but people will get annoyed as it is. If they just said they're removing this until all the food traits are done, people would also be outraged that they're removing features. That's fair. You don't really, you'll never win. They said food was going to be a minor buff, but I guess that was a lie. Did they? I would love to have some text to prove that if you've got a record of them saying that, because I think that would be a great way to do it, and making it a survival idea, making it more of the on the buff side. For transport with NPCs, you have to have food, but it's a game loop that's not even tier 0 at this point. So that's true. It's not even in the game yet. Matter of fact, I believe they may drop as many as 5 systems in the next 2 years just because of Squadron. Wow, that'd be awesome. That would be great. Oh, the game prices used to be $50? See, I'm showing my age. I wasn't actually buying the games back when I was a kid. How is this dev being ongoing much different than War Thunder being in progress with only matchmaking since 2013? People drop tons there too. I actually know nothing about War Thunder, to be honest. I'm guessing it's a more complete game than this, though. I think the bigger issue is that you feel like you were buying when you were actually donating or pledging, and maybe you should feel that way. Yeah. That is a thing. Only concept you bought was the Apollo. Apollo was a cool concept that I feel like should be in the game by now. I hope that's something that they really focus on next year. You like the idea of the game staying in playable development forever? I want it to be polished for sure, but I like the idea of small things being added here and there, as long as they don't change like that core experience too much. Alright, I'm gonna go set my spawn over at Grimhex before we get really into this, just so that we aren't spawning all the way back at, like, I think Microtech probably is where I'd be. This stream went by so quickly. It's good to be back streaming. It's been 3 hours. It feels like it's been 1 hour. The conversation's been phenomenal today, guys. I've had a good time. Just sort of testing out the cutter. Honestly, I wish I could do more of this, but I do have a scheduled Daymar rally practice that I need to get to. But we'll definitely do more of this next week. Probably we'll do a Corsair review and some more talking. In fact, on Monday we'll do the whole shebang. Just like Mondays are, it'll be all talking, all Star Citizen, all Starfield, just what's new, what's going on, what's in development, all that jazz. So make sure to come by on Monday. It's going to be a good time. But this has been a good one. Yeah, this is the cutter we're flying around. Little box of a ship. I'm behind on chat again. Gosh, I'm so far behind. Okay, I'm kind of catching back up again. Sorry. Is audio out of sync for anyone else? It could be. Is the audio coming through too late or too early? I can try and change that up. It's hard to make a stream run as you'd expect. There's so many things. Game prices fluctuated in the 80s. There were $80 cartridges and adjusted for inflation more than 150. Huh. You'd love to own it, but it's 45. You mean this game? I'm usually doing some game giveaways for this game. I'll start another one next week, so if you're hanging out on the stream, there's a chance you might win it here. But plenty of people also are doing giveaways, so I'd check out streamers if you can't afford the game. See if you can win it. Reckon, I agree with you on the get it now for this price practices of concept ships. I don't like the way they market the concept ships. The terminologies they use, the FOMO that they try to induce, it's all very, very disgusting. I don't like that part of it. Woo! Audio is earlier than video. Okay. Let's see if I can... let's see what we can do about that. Advanced audio properties, sync offset. I'll make it 10 milliseconds. No, let's make it 30 milliseconds late. See if that helps. It's also going to slow down the game volume though, so hopefully that doesn't throw that off too much. What do you think about the interiors that they talked about in Star Citizen Live? I haven't watched the Star Citizen Live yet. Probably we'll watch that on the Monday stream, or at least do a little summary of it. I don't know really what they're talking about, but it sounds like it was the Montreal Sandbox team, which is a useful team to hear from. I hope they have a lot of good info. But I've been busy. I'm trying to do 2 videos next week, so I've just been writing a lot. And I haven't really had time to get caught up on that stuff. Y'all gonna let me in? Zero Jin. Dude, that's an awesome name. I had a really, really good friend on Xbox Live back in the day. We played a bunch of Halo 3 together. His name was Zero Jin, with a Z instead of an X. You got space during Quantum from the MSR? That is not a good glitch. Oh, I can't wait to have a HOTAS and have analog input to all this stuff. Looks so much better when you're flying with those. Is there an armistice zone at Grimhex? That's probably a good idea. I didn't know there was one. Audio sounds good. Cool. The inaccuracies in ship descriptions are what really annoys me. CAR not getting the BIS paints. C8R not getting the BIS. Oh, the Pisces and the new Pisces isn't getting those paints? Huh. Is it different on the exterior from the other Pisces? Why would they not do the paints for that? The spirit size issues. That's embarrassing. They can't be releasing concepts with the wrong information on it. That is beyond acceptable if you're selling a concept ship. Once the game is complete, you will have already played through the incomplete version of the game, which would deplete the population instead of finishing big features towards a simultaneous completion date and having a big population towards completion. Are you saying they shouldn't be running the alpha so people can play it right now because they'll not want to play it by the time the game releases? But there will be progression. I mean, if you're just here to experience the game itself, that's probably true. Oh, oops. But I would current location. Okay. I would hope that people are still looking to like actually progress through the game when it comes out. And a lot of people probably won't touch it till it goes live. You can't stand up in the MSR underway right now. Wow. It's interesting. Ah, helmet. That's what I should be getting. Yes, 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 yes. You bought an A1 expecting room for vehicles. Does the A1 not have room for vehicles? Switch it up for a C2. Oh wait, A1, I'm thinking of A2. Yeah, A1. It's a small ship, though. Did they say that the A1 would be able to have vehicles in it? The C8R can equip the BIS paint, but at one point they said owners of the C8R will get the BIS paint for free, and then later clarified, no, it's just the existing Pisces. Ooh. CIG. Give me that helmet. You're saying they have smaller features in the game like eating because it adds to the final product versus adding that in after all the primary content is in the game. But how do you determine what's primary content and what's a little feature? Like eating might be a... Oh, speaking of eating, I need to get something to drink. Eating might be a secondary feature, but it's linked into the fact that we have the actor status system, right? And the actor status system factors in atmospheres, it factors in how much you're running around, it factors in your injuries, your health. So like that stuff is kind of needed to experience the game. But would it be more work for them to do that stuff halfway and not include the food part of it than to just put the food part in now and let it be tested at the same time as those features? Those might be tied at the hip in a way that wouldn't be worth delivering them otherwise. Where is food in this place? This is one of those features that I can get behind you on. This was such a waste. This whole area, nobody uses this. This has been here for 2 years. 2 years! And like, it's completely pointless. They're even putting in a racetrack in Grimhex, and it's not close to here, so there's no point in being here either. It's just like, that's the kind of thing that I really grinds my gears. Yeah, I'm about to die from thirst. I need food. There's a vending machine. Oh, yeah, they don't work. Admin office? Food is behind you? Food is behind me. That's hard to That's hard to quantify when I'm turning around so much. It's in the gun store. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's right. How did I miss this? When they add the ability to use paper clips. But paper clips are very, very important for turning in contracts in a proper manner. I am Space Tomato from YouTube. Yes. I do the vids. In fact, I'm streaming on YouTube right now as well. Are we good? No, we still need food. What is this? Beef chunks. Oh, yeah. Haven't had beef chunks since that crappy burrito in Microtech. Let's get it. Oh, I just stored it. Okay, we'll keep that for later. Never hurts to have extra beef chunks in your back pocket, right? That's disgusting. Do I drink these? Oh my god, what color? Why are they green? Ugh. Honestly, that looked like Turkish Delight. How much food do you need to take on a pyro expedition, etc.? I would bet like a good cupboard full. One person, 4 bags of beef chunks. That just basically healed me all the way up. Where am I going? There we are. You never look at this game through rose-colored glasses unlike most of your peers. You remember the pitches that we had. You are aware of backer goals and what had been reached. You also feel like they have no real direction about some of the things they want to include. Hand drawing every single planet is going to be a time sink and a half, which is why we will never, you and I sitting here, will never see 50 systems in our lifetime. I agree with you on some parts of that. I think that they don't have real direction on a lot of things that they want in the game. And I only blame them partially for that, because I don't have a lot of direction with a lot of things I want to do with my own company, but I know I want to do them. The problem being that they have gotten a lot of money for doing those things, and it's a little not the same. But I agree with you there. I don't agree with the hand drawing of planets. I think that the planets are going to get faster and faster, as we've seen with the moons. As we've seen with the way that they're constructing planets, how they've started to build out geographic tiles that can then be matched together on planets rather than going in and making full swaths of the planet or anything like that. They've gotten better with the humidity temperature graph being a little more systemic. As the planetary team goes along, I think they'll probably get better and better at making those features work faster. Like, just look at the river creation tool. They took forever to make a single river, and now they've gotten to the point where they can just put dozens of rivers on planets with a couple of clicks because they built the tool that does that. I already forgot my hanger. I'm so dumb. I'm so bad at this. Bath chunks. If you hold left click, you chug the drink. Yeah, my other mouse doesn't do that very well because the mouse button is broken. So my guy just kind of like goes like this, goes like this, goes like this. It's like, is this how you drink water? Over and over again? 2 water and 1 food if you need to fill up. And here's my problem, I never bring food onto the ship with me. That's why I'm always dying of starvation. Yeah, some people don't care about the food features. I get that. Guess beef changed in 900 years. They started making beef out of something different. There's something in the meat. Proof is in the pudding, my guy. It's been, what, 4 years since they opened up Stanton with all the moons and planets? But they've gotten better over those 4 years. Like, you can't tell me that 4 years ago, the way that they were putting derelicts and outposts and other features onto the planets looks like how they were doing it now, or even 2 years ago. We saw with the moons how, like, it took them 3 months to make 3 moons, and then it took them 2 weeks to make 3 moons a couple years later. I think the planetary team themselves have gotten good. I think there are other things that are still holding up system development, but like the planetary team seems like they can make things and will take the time they can. Like, I don't think Pyro's planets, which look like they're finishing up next year, if the rest of the game was already up to speed to get Pyro into the game, I don't think that the planetary team would have taken until next year to make those planets. I think they're making use of the time that they get. I could be wrong about that, but honestly, from just the tools that they've shown and the things like the river system and stuff like that, it does seem like the stuff is being made faster. Hear what they're doing with Planet Tech, but where are the other planets? The other systems 3.0, we were supposed to be able to go to Pyro. In 3.0? I don't think that was 3.0. I think that was 4. It was a long time ago though. But again, I don't think it's the planetary team that's holding up Pyro. Oh, this isn't a top launch. I think it's the other stuff. How am I obstructing a parking area? Get out of here. That's my parking area. What a joke. Hi. New here. Thank you for your YouTube videos. They help out a lot. Thank you, Solemn Hollow, for joining our little stream here. Welcome. Hope you enjoy what we have to offer. Which is a lot of chat. We chat a lot here. I like it. I like it. Chat's very active. It's a lot of fun talking to you guys. They should remove hydration. I saw urination, but it says nutrient features instead of bed logging. Dying because you cannot drink the bottle in hand and unable to drink it naked is way worse. That's true. Like, fix that stuff. I thought they weren't getting rid of bed logging, though. Thought that was just like an Evocati thing that happened. They said Pyro next year a few years ago. They did. They messed up on Pyro. On expectations for that. But again, I don't think that's because of the planetary stuff. I think that's because of server meshing. I think they could have gotten Pyro in earlier if the technology to allow them to realistically run multiple systems would have been there. Let's see, the first time, what did they say? So the first time they said we'd get Pyro was in 20... Geez, that was like 16? They were estimating Pyro the next year. They were saying that we were going to go from 3.0 to 4.0 in 1 year and get Pyro. That was insane. I have no, like, that is the one, not the one thing, but the biggest thing that I will never accept an excuse on from them. That was just pathetic that they said that. After that, I think it was 20... I don't remember if they said 2020 or 2021. But they were basically saying every year from that point, from 2020. Where is the group? Did I lose them? Are they out here? Alright, I need to get on chat and talk to them. Yeah, answer the call 2016. That was Squadron. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm referring to. The CitizenCon before 3.0 was a absolutely terrible attempt at predicting game features. No urination. This game has gotten too big with all the stuff they keep adding and continue to add for no damn reason. Aside from this sounds cool at the moment, they need to put out a game and then decide to add things instead of keeping up in the state of consistent buggy alpha. But that only, like, saying that they keep adding stuff to this game gets a little complicated because then you have to go back in time to see all the stuff they already said they were going to add. And then you have to hold them accountable for the stuff that they said from 2012 to 2016 when nobody was around to say, oh, don't add that. Because all of those times they said, hey, we're going to put this in the game, we're going to put that in the game, we're going to put that in the game. And at some point they have to fulfill that stuff. So, you know, if they wanted to make sure that we were getting resource management in the game or something, they have to at some point develop it, even if it's a little bit too extra for the time. Because there was a lot of scope creep back in those times. A lot of the stuff that's considered scope creep now is just them bringing up old features. What do you think the wormhole jump is going to be? It's going to be an interactive loading screen. Well, in that case, I guess there's no excuse. If it's all just I mean, it is an interactive loading screen. Like, they're going to be doing the streaming in and out of object containers. But, I mean, clearly they can't do that yet. The old PES system didn't scale. They slowed down every road to Pyro. That probably had a slowing effect on the development, yeah. They had to remove Levski because it was taking up too much memory on the servers. Pyro would have been worse without server meshing. That was a bummer when they removed Delamar. Quanta container meshing persistent streaming will fix everything. You jokers. Problem is, you have to have the foundation to support the things you want to put in the game. You can't just do this now, add that later. Yeah. In software development, there's a concept called MVP. The problem is that CID doesn't have it, or MVP isn't correct. They wanted 3.0 to be MVP, I think, in terms of like a playable alpha. Yeah, 10 for the chairman really messed up that whole scope creep stuff. What they could have done is they could have just been like, hey, all the stuff we said we were going to do before 2018, we're not going to do it. Because y'all are going to be pissed. Because it's going to take too much time and effort. And that might have saved them more headaches. Because now, forever, they're going to deal with every time they make one of those features, people telling them, why did you make this feature? We don't need that. At which point we would be like, well, let's travel back in time and tell them not to say they were going to make that feature. But that's the fact of the matter. This game is at the end of a rope that's being held by the 2010s. And, like, we're always going to have to deal with that. I think there were multiple things holding back Pyro. Refueling, salvage, better medical gameplay. A lot of it has been remedied over the years. I don't know what's been holding back Pyro, but you can either choose to imagine that there is something holding back Pyro, or that CIG is just choosing to not release a new star system and everything is screwed. It doesn't matter either way. It'll continue on no matter what, and hopefully we get a good star system, hopefully we don't. Personally, I'm probably going to be playing the hell out of Starfield by the time 4.0 comes out, and then when 4.0 comes out, I'm going to love that too, so I'm not losing any sleep over it. How about we just let CIG decide which features are feasible to implement in their vision and hold them accountable for the remainder after release? That's fair, but people really, really want them to get closer to their vision. Remember when they said if you don't bedlog, your character becomes an AI and flies back to safe station? Good times. It still could be a thing. We don't know if that's not going to be a thing or not. When you bedlog or crash... Actually, I think it was when you crashed. Like, if you crashed out of the game, but your ship was still there, they'd have an AI take over and fly back to where you came from. I see that still being a possible thing. Wonder what this game would look like without the procedural world tech, which was a surprise addition one year. I probably wouldn't be nearly as interested in this game if it didn't have the planets like that. Never had a realistic roadmap of what they needed to do. It's like a kid given a bunch of Legos and they tell them to build the Star Wars universe. Yeah, they never had a roadmap to release. They kind of did with the big features, ending in server meshing. But there's still plenty of small features that need to be added. I don't think Starfield will replace Star Citizen. We'll never say that. Never have. I just think it's a game I'm going to play. You're going to fade away for another year or two like you've done before and come back when a ship you really want to fly is in game. What ship is that? Hey, 420 Stoner Express. Love the name. How you doing? I think there are actually two big features that made it a mess. Landable planets and CR's obsession with first-person and third-person consistency. Yeah, that first-person, third-person consistency is big. And the interactivity, too, is really, really puts this game on the back burner. Having to make it so that things interact with each other and work together and coordinate is a lot. Nothing. Now you got all you want except the Santok Yai. That's the only ship you own now that you don't have in game. Should be here soon. It looks like it was going into development, I think. I hope. Wasn't talking to me. Oh. Yeah, I don't... Starfield replacing Star Citizen would be insane. Ready for a fresh start, 420? Nice. Are we not getting... Is nobody killing the bots on spam? Might not have any mods on YouTube right now. I kind of still do some of the mods myself. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm so excited for Starfield. That's going to be dope. All right. I'm going to get into this chat room with people, and we're going to see if we can get hooked up with the practice. I'm also going to see if I can find my other stream deck so that I can keep muting and talking to you guys. Give me 1 second. Or a minute. All right. I've got a stream deck here. All right, I got a stream deck plugged in. I don't know if it's the right one. Hopefully it is. And we will see if this starts working for me. Then I will be able to keep talking to you guys when we're in the chat room. It is not launching the stream deck software. Oh, I don't have it on this computer, do I? Ay. This is what happens when you lose all of the progress on your PC. Crap. All right, guys, it's going to be weird talking back and forth while we're in this party, but I'm going to go ahead and launch into the party. Actually, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm going to launch into the party, and we'll get to actually testing the game out. Just give me like 2 minutes, folks. Okay. We're back. What did I miss? Oh. Oh. Let's jump into this chat real quick and see what's going on.
What channel, if it works correctly.
Hello.
It's a tomato.
Sorry, I'm very late.
Fired.
Actually, not really late.
Hey,
We're
DJ.
just doing internal stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Where do I find push to mute in Discord?
So in Discord you set
5 concept ships sales were announced at the time I was gone. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't think this is even going to be very interesting for everybody.
So, Tomato, we are experimenting around with Gilded to have the individual team voice comms in Gilded, where we'll be in the Atmo comms on Discord, so that we can have the teams chatting as much as they need to coordinate, but still have an ear in the official Atmo comms. And I believe this is what we set up last year too.
Cool. Sounds good to me. I don't even think I have, because this whole computer got reset. I don't think I have Gilded on this computer anymore. So I gotta get that downloaded again.
I really wish you were like closer so I could just come make a house call and fix your shit.
Dude, it would still break. It's just it's the way of things. It just, like, there was no reason for it to break. I just took my hard drive out, moved it to America, put it in a new computer, and it was like, hey, we can't launch anymore.
Was it your
Okay.
OS drive? Because they don't like that.
Yeah.
So you can do that, but there's caveats. You have to make sure both systems are on what is it? A whatever. So not. It's a NVMe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to make sure both systems are UEFI, and you can't be using disk encryption at all.
Well,
But otherwise, yes, you can totally do that.
Yeah,
Windows will just figure it out.
it's the same 2 computers. Like, I just go back and forth between Turkey and the US, and it's been working for years, but this time it just didn't.
Yeah.
It was all the same setup. I don't really know what happened. I guess this is kind of like another reset for me.
It's Windows 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you shouldn't be having any problems with that. It's very weird.
Yeah. So that's the vibe of computers around me. Weird.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So how's the
My wife
Gilded?
says the same thing. When she touches computers, it dies. It's going good. The guys are just kind of figuring out. Some of them are new to Gilded, so they're tweaking their settings and stuff.
Cool.
Quick question: where do I go to change the view to legacy view?
It's
Alright.
under settings.
So I have to like click every time I want to mute, but we can still talk. What I was saying before was I think I'll probably hang out here for a little bit, but go ahead and end the stream pretty soon because I think this is going to be fairly boring. We'll just be talking for the most part. And I guess while we're still hanging out here, we can at least go look at the cutter. Or do you guys want to see the Corsair? Can look at that while we're waiting. I'm gonna have to claim it first.
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Claim that.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
It has the mutant ability that that affects technology. You remember that video where like I put my hand near the joystick and it moved the controller? Maybe I've got some sort of electromagnetic f up the world kind of situation where I just break electronics, in which case somebody hire me. Give me a job. Hey, thanks for the sub, Just Mac.
It should show like a list of people, and then it'll have the voice.
400i maybe, since it's going on. I can grab that too if you want to see that.
Welcome.
400.
I will send screenshot.
Mic check. I'm just testing. You hear me in Discord?
Yes.
Claim that too. Not ideal for a streamer. It's not. It's not great. I oftentimes joke that being a streamer. Wow, did we reach our sub goal today? Oh, you guys are the best. Yo, that is awesome. Thank you everybody who subbed and gifted a sub today. That we don't. Wow, that doesn't happen too much. I appreciate you all. That's awesome. I oftentimes joke that streaming is like 50% IT and just problem solving. It feels higher than that though. It feels like it's 80%. Just so much. Oh, Punji, I think we lost sound effects.
So, Tomato, are you going to be
Because of the computer reset.
racing? Do you want to race in this practice? Or are you just going to be hanging out and filming or just hanging out and doing nothing?
I would, well, you mean this practice like the official practice later today?
Yeah, the one in 30 minutes.
Is that 30 minutes? Jeez. Holy crap, it is. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I'd like to be involved in the racing.
Cool. Do you want to drive or pilot?
Like support craft pilot?
Yes.
I
mean, I've seen you're flying, so I'm leaning towards driving, but you know, it's up to you.
Hey, if I have a reason to stay alive, I'll do it. Yeah, I might do driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're only doing the first leg today, so it's only going to be maybe 2 hours.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that might actually not. I probably shouldn't be driving then because I actually have to leave early, and I don't want to have to like cause a bunch of problems. Can I do co-pilot?
No, you won't cause any problems. So you and I are essentially going to be a team. Because there before you showed up, the teams were odd. So I told the other guys, hey, you know, I've done this racing crap before, so I'll just hang out. So if you have to leave early, that's fine. I'll be your support pilot, and you can drive. And then when you need to leave, then I'll just, you know, have you drive the vehicle up into my ship and take your vehicle, and you can go.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. So we will be Team 3.
Team Tres. Love it.
Race Team 3.
Alright, I got it figured out.
All right.
Forgot I had to restart Guild at that time.
How do I mute myself? Gosh.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay, so Tomato, if you
Bought the cutter and love it.
hop into, I'm gonna actually move.
Free Fly got you into the game.
Team 3.
Dope. How are you liking it so far, Miles?
Hop into Gilded.
Do you want to hop in game with us?
Comms configuration.
Next week?
We only have about 25 minutes before we have to get on the Atmo Gilded.
Oh boy.
Discord.
So I need to download Gilded now.
Yeah, but all your crap should still be set up except for your keybinds and audio settings. So I just downloaded and installed Gilded, and it was pretty quick.
I just hope it doesn't mess up the stream.
It shouldn't.
Let's see. Nope, we're good.
Yeah. Are you streaming still to Twitch and YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Going to wrap it up here soon, but yeah.
Is our audio live to Twitch and YouTube?
Yes. Sorry, I should have let you know that. Because I don't have, like, all of my mute buttons aren't working right now, so I can't actually turn things on and off.
No worries. I
thing.
caught the first, say, 20 minutes. Well, I didn't catch the first 20 minutes. I rewound to the first 20 minutes of your stream to see, you know, how everything went. And yeah, I heard about the computer. So anyway, yeah. So if everyone can mind their language.
Oh, no, they're fine. I mean, like...
Oh, I'm going to just start swearing like crazy.
Like, don't be crazy, but...
I'm going to get you demonetized.
YouTube's actually pretty nice about, like, as long as it's not in the first, like, 5 to 10 minutes, then you're good.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right, so I'm back on the Gilded.
Yep. So we're in operations comms down in the very bottom of it. you'll see racing. See racing team 1, 2, and 3.
Got it. All right,
you
it
are.
should be in there. And
Yep.
I'll mute myself on there for now.
Oh, your voice sounds deeper on Gilded than here.
Oh,
That
crap.
is-
My voice changer. My voice is
What
not
do
actually
you do
deep.
when you're not streaming?
Turns out that Tomato didn't sound like this at all.
Nope. Not my OG voice.
He sounds high pitched and squeaky. No, it almost sounds like
doesn't?
it's sampling it at the wrong sample rate. That's what it sounds like. You might have it bound to the wrong device.
Ooh, that's a possibility. Is it
Because it's gonna grab the default.
let's see. Well, it should be defaulting to my mic, but chat mic. How about now?
There you go. Now you sound the same on both.
Cool,
All right,
cool,
I'm gonna unmute over there.
All lies. All lies. I don't sound like this.
Hello.
I remember when I met Lord Skippy in person. He was like, "Oh, you actually do sound like that."
Hey, can you hear me on Gilded?
I can.
Just
All
checking
right.
again.
Space Tomato was Batman. Where did CIG put 3.8? 3.18. Where's 4.0? Where did Mahoney put 4.0?
All right. So next step, Tomato. Can you set up a Whisper keybind for race
Check.
team?
I need to download the Stream Deck software, I think.
No, it's built into Gilded.
I just don't want to put it on my keyboard.
Oh, got it. Well, if that's too complicated, don't worry about it. But if it's easy for you to do that, then that would be cool.
Oh, let's
Because
see.
we will be in 3 separate race team channels, and if we want to talk to each other, we need to be able to use the Whisper keybind.
All right. Now I have 2 things I have to mute with my mouse instead of the Stream Deck, Gilded and Discord.
You can set them to the same bind.
No, because right now I'm using a mouse click.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, instead of the keyboard. I'm a Stream Deck chunky, so I keep wanting to just set all my key bindings to that. Oh, they can't hear me because I muted myself. You guys like my Batman impression? Imagine Batman searching for 4.0. Just throwing people off of rooftops and stuff. Where's 4.0? My parents died for this. Sorry, Batman. Sorry, all due respect,
That's
dude.
a whisper, I presume.
Hmm? Whisper? Am I
can't
whispering?
hear you.
What? I unmuted? How did that happen?
I'm gonna test my whisper real quick if you guys don't mind.
Hey, Tomato, I don't think you can hear Gilded because I was talking to you over there.
Oh god, I'm getting really confused. I should be able to hear Gilded. I'm not deafened. I'm just muted. Yeah, I can't hear you. Why can't I hear him? What, Okay, stop this. What's going on? Am I not?
I have no whisper.
I am trying to figure out why I can't hear you on Gilded. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Alright.
Okay. Why can't I hear on Gilded? Oh my god, I don't have any of the plugins, so I can't actually access Discord controls with my Stream Deck. This is just...
Also, Tomato, you will need to add the racing team role to yourself on Gilded. I don't think I can edit your roles, otherwise I would have done it for you. Maybe it will let me.
Oh,
Maybe it does.
all right, we'll do.
It did. All right. I did it for you. I didn't realize it would let me edit your roles, but I added it. So now you should be good.
All right,
You'll receive the whispers.
Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna be right back. All right, y'all. This is getting way too complex for me. There's too much stuff going on. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and I think end the stream here for today. It's a 4-hour stream. It's not bad. We got to do a lot of talking, and honestly, I loved it. Just catching up on stream real quick before we go. Space Tomato, there are a lot of YouTubers that have videos that help you navigate. I recommend Jonathan Winter's channel. Oh, you're telling that to Miles. You've loved it so far, been spending many hours. That's good to hear, Miles. It's always nice to hear a newcomer having a good time. Most of Space Tomato's chat is like him, mostly chill. He has and generates a chill vibe. Thank you. Just balanced, you know? Just keep it balanced. It's a lot of fun to just chat with people. But I appreciate everybody being here. Honestly, chat is amazing. You guys are all very chill, very cool people. I know plenty of you are also just lurking in the background. You're also very cool just because you're here. But whenever people kind of just chime into the chat, for the most part, it is reasonable. It is well thought out. These are actual conversations. Like, sometimes we miss out on some of the more fun, like, emote stuff and the Twitch-centric stuff that gets going. But I love the conversations we have here. And these streams are always a good time. So, the stream break? Is it not working? Can you guys not hear me? Am I muted? Did I mute myself? Good. No, I'm coming through. Cool. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all being here. I'm sorry I'm not going to be streaming the Daymar Rally practice today. I will probably stream another practice session though when I'm a little bit more set up. The muting buttons and the stream deck and like everything that's going on, it's a little bit overwhelming right now. So I will make sure to keep an announcement out for the next time we're doing a Daymar Rally practice. Or if you'd like, you can also join and check out the Daymar Rally when we race it in January. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I just want to thank you guys all for being here today. I'm going to send you all on a raid. If you want, and you're in the org, you can probably just come and hop into our voice channel and just watch the Daymar Rally practice that we're doing, as long as you're not interrupting or anything. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot that raid out there. And I'll have a longer stream next Saturday, probably. Let's see. Who's playing some Star Citizen? That'll be me. Sorry for not being much active, but I appreciate you in chat. No problem, David. Thank you for being here. Nobody ever needs to apologize for not being active. You're watching the stream. You're part of the community. The majority of people never say anything, right? You go on like a Reddit thread or a Twitter thread or something, and like you're not actually seeing all the people who really are watching that conversation, just the people who are talking. So I appreciate you being here, watching, talking, listening, learning, loving, and hope to see you in the next stream. Before we get off though, of course, I've got to plug myself. Got new exclusive video came out looking at the last 4 years of development, judging whether or not the development's actually accelerating. It's something we've talked about a lot during this stream. This was a thick video. This one took, I got graphs, I got numbers, I've got charts, I've got all those things that hopefully make things seem a little more realistic. But this is like an in-depth look at 2018 to 2022 and whether or not the features and ships they're putting in show that they are accelerating in development, or if they're just doing the same thing year after year. And I think it's a good watch if you like it. If you don't want to do the whole supporter thing, it'll be out publicly probably around April or May. Besides that, you know I gotta plug my socks. Those Space Tomato socks, guys, they are good times. And if you couldn't sub or don't want to sub or want another way to support me, getting those socks actually does a lot for us. It helps us get rid of a backlog that this company has in their factory. But it also is just like a product that I really care about. put a lot of work into designing it and making sure that it's a good quality fabric with the colors actually in the stitch rather than just kind of being a sticker. They're great socks, and I've got them marked off for 50% for the rest of the year. So a full 50% off, a nice little Christmas gift maybe for yourself, a stocking stuffer, or a way to support the channel if you'd like to. But you can type in !socks, go to the store on YouTube, it should be down below, and it'll say 22 bucks on it. But again, like I said, it's marked 50% off. So by the time you get to the checkout, it'll be around 11 bucks. And I hope somebody enjoys those. So far, the people who have gotten them have said a lot of good things, and I would like to share them more because we all got to keep our toes warm. But anyways, folks, one last time, thank you so much for being here. It's been great fun. I'm going to send you all on to Astropub, another great talking stream about Star Citizen. He's got some great answers to questions that you might have, and probably a different take on how things are going in terms of the development. Okay. Is it really not going to give you those socks? Now I gotta drop the link for you. I'm sorry. It should have pulled the socks up for you. Maybe it's !toes. Might actually be it. But I'll drop this link for you here first. There you go. If you are interested, consider checking it out. It actually goes a long way towards supporting us. But like I said, I'm going to drag you over to the Astropub, ask him all the hard questions, give him a hard time, and tell him that what is the ship that he doesn't like? I think it's the Redeemer. Tell him the Redeemer is the best thing ever. Go piss him off. Have some fun and chat. Enjoy the Star Citizen conversation, folks. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on Monday for another good conversation. Have a great one, folks. I appreciate you.